going to have our presentations and proclamations. I see a lot of wonderful staff here that we are going to recognize today. Good morning, Commissioner. Buenos días. Muy bien, muy bien.
You're looking great.
Gracias, gracias.
Good morning, Chairwoman, Commissioner Reyes. We are here today to honor. We're starting with Preservation Month. I'm going to ask you ladies to come on up. Let's give them a hand. That's good. Are you all with them? You can come up if you want. And I think we need. Whereas the villagers of a nonprofit organization dedicated to the restoration and preservation of historic sites in Miami-Dade County, Florida, this organization, it educates, it advocates, it does fundraising for restoring properties, and we thank you for over 56 years of your traditional services that you do in the city of Miami and Dade County. And this month, next month, May, the month of May is Historic Preservation Month, and we salute you and commend you for all of the wonderful work that you do right here in the great city of Miami. And we just want to thank you. I don't know if the chairwoman wants to say something.
Yes, we are always honored to recognize folks that are doing wonderful things in the city of Miami to keep us with the name of Magic City. So thank you for your service. Thank you for all of the wonderful things that you do. And if there's anything that we can do to support your efforts, please do not hesitate to call on me or my colleagues. Thank you. Would any of you like to say something?
I'm just going to introduce myself and one of my colleagues who will actually be speaking for a minute or two about the villagers. Hi, thank you very much. Chairperson, commissioners, it is an honor to be here. My name is Alana Perez, and I'm president of the Villagers this year. And I'm just very, very proud to say that this year we will be giving away $125,000 in grants and $15,000 in scholarships to people who are in studies for historic preservation. It's Next to me, I have our first Vice President and Chair of Historic Preservations, Kelly Shield, who will just give you a little bit of an overview of the villagers and some of the great things that we've done.
Thank you very much, Gail, Chairperson, Commissioners. My name is Kelly Shield. On behalf of the villagers, I would like to thank the City of Miami for the proclamation honoring May as National Historic Preservation Month. We would like to introduce our organization so that we may become a resource for you in regards to saving places in the city of Miami. The villagers are dedicated to the preservation of Miami's historic sites since 1966 and has awarded over $1.5 million in grants to further our cause. We believe that conservation of landmarks and historic neighborhoods is essential both economically and culturally. In fact, the villagers founded the Dade Heritage Trust in 1972. An example of historic preservation's impact is tourism. The number 2 reason people travel is to experience history, and in spite of what you may have heard, Miami has a long, rich, and diverse story to tell. Visitors love Vizcaya, the Deering Estate, the Barnacle, the Cape Florida Lighthouse, just to name a few. This past year, the villagers awarded grants to many worthwhile projects, including the historic Hampton House, $23,000 for a welcome entrance, the Hispanic Ballet Warner House, Jesu Catholic Church, Coconut Grove Women's Club, and the Black Police Precinct and Courthouse. We know how busy you are, but we would like to offer our services and resources to help you with issues related to historic preservation. If there are any eligible historic sites that would benefit from receiving grants, please let us know so that we can help them in the application process. We have a packet of information here on grant informations and also our contact information. Thank you again for the honor.
Thank you. Thank you. And now we are going to be recognizing.
Ariel. Oh, you want to do this one?
Let's just do the big one. This is National Public Works Week, and we are going to recognize our public works employees. Yes! I am going to ask their director and our manager to come forward. Director Santana, Juvenal Santana. Juvenal. Here you go.
Good morning, everyone. Madam Chair, Commissioner Reyes, Commissioner Covo, Mr. Manager, thank you for taking this moment and recognizing one of your fabulous departments. I know you have many, and we all pride ourselves in calling us number one. So I'm glad that today we finally stopped for that moment. Obviously, with all due respect to my fellow directors. So I'm glad that we're able to take advantage and clap. Usually we can't clap in side chambers, so this is definitely nice to hear the roar of the room. So this is something that occurs every year. I got the question, is this something new? No, it's a national yearly occurrence, but this year we made it a point to stop and recognize all the hard work that we do across this department, from running trolleys to permitting huge land development projects, for answering the call when the storm rolls through the city. The first ones out there, making sure that folks are able to get in and out of their homes safely. Is this group of individuals sitting in this room today? I can't be more proud of them. You know, I've got it easy at the EOC, and all I have to do is pick up the phone, and I know that someone's going to answer that call of duty, and everyone's ready to come out there. I just wanted to, I mentioned to the group, 4 weeks ago, I was standing at that podium, answering questions on how we do what we do, and we were presented that we need to come back to commission with a solution. And this in front of you is the solution. So the folks that we have in front of you are doing it every day. We're getting some additional resources to do more, and we're proud to take on the challenge in that task. So again, I'm really honored for this, and we have a packed room. I wanted to perhaps invite you all to maybe come around that side. Yeah, so instead of bringing over 100 folks, before the fire department calls me on a fire watch. So, yeah. Yeah? Yeah, all right. Come on in. Come on up. All right, very good. Yeah, that's fine.
her right now.
I'm a big dude, man. Look at the camera. I'm a big dude, bro. Look at this. I'm a big dude. Look at this. Look. Where? You're right there. Look. Man. Look at that. Raise my hand. There you go.
Tira foto, tira foto. Mira, tira una foto, mira. Con mi dos favoritos. Oye, para Dios te bendiga. Dios los bendiga a todos. Okay. Stay in the front. But you're here with me?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't realize I was being
Ready? Okay.
Hello? Listen, I am so proud of you guys that I have to thank you. Thank you very much for whatever you do. I'm real proud. You see, my district and the city looks better because of you. The way the city looks is your job, what you're doing. And without you guys, we wouldn't look good. You see, thank you for all the effort. Thank you for every time that I call, you're there. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much. You deserve this honor and this mention. I am so proud of you that the only thing that I can say is thank you. God bless you all.
And that is absolutely true. I can tell you D5 has never looked better than when I got in office and I partnered with you guys. MLK Boulevard with the lights and the landscaping and now the tree canopy. We're putting how many trees in D5?
How many trees in D5, bro? 1,200.
We're putting 1,200 trees in D5. And that is thanks to you guys in Public Works. Our city is amazing, and thank you for the work that you do, everyone. And let me say a special shout out for the trolley service, because we are picking up our seniors. That's right. We have a handicapped accessible trolley that goes up 7th Avenue. I'm telling you, Public Works is so responsive to the needs of this community, and I appreciate all of you. And for those of you in Public Works who I knocked on your doors and you voted for me, yes, yes, thank you. Commissioner,
Well, yes, very nice to meet you all. I just wanted to formally introduce myself. I'm your district commissioner for District 2, as you know. I'm very thankful for the response in the past almost over 60 days that I've been in office. As you know, and Juvenal knows, and congratulations to all, our district is the coastal district, and we are in a lot of help, a need of help from you guys. So congratulations again. Our doors are open in our office. It's very, very nice to meet you all in person.
If everyone can look at Jonathan for a minute, please, with the camera. Thank you. Thank you.
We have one more presentation.
Okay. We have one more presentation. Ariel Truba and staff. Let's give them a chance to come down. Give us a moment and let them come down first. Let's give them a moment to come down. Okay, right here. He's coming. Come. Okay, can I have your attention, please? We're going to continue with our program quickly. Shh. Start singing. Okay. So Ariel Truba, he's coming up now, and we want to congratulate him. He is with a program called Public Allies, which is a national movement committed to advancing social justice and equity by engaging and activating the leadership of all people. He has been a part of that since 2017 via the Summer Jobs Connection of AmeriCorps Vista. And he was recognized by Commissioner Manola Reyes to serve on the LGBTQ Advisory Board. And because of all of your efforts, your leadership that you do in the city of Miami, we want to congratulate and commend you for being an excellent servant for the city. And we want to present you with this proclamation for your hard work and dedication.
Ariel, the only thing that I can say, thank you for all the hours that you put in our city, your hard work, and your dedication to the city of Miami. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Would you like to say something? Sure,
why not? Well, I feel really honored for this proclamation. I want to thank Mayor Suarez, Chairwoman King, Commissioner Reyes, my district, Commissioner Koval, all the commissioners for their hard work, their city manager, city attorney, city clerk. Everyone in this city works really hard, and I would like to say I'm a testament that no matter where you come from Little Haiti to Little Havana, you could make it. And I really want to say that from the bottom of my heart. If it wasn't for the people here at the City of Miami that have helped me, I wouldn't be here today. So thank you so much, and it's really an honor to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. At this time, we are going to have prayer for our meeting, as we always do. Pastor, thank you for joining us today. Okay, we have Pastor Dutton from the Seventh-day Adventist Tabernacle Church here today with us to lead us in prayer to get our meeting started.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Can we please bow our heads for prayer? Father in heaven, Lord, we come to you again today. And this time, oh God, with all of our city officials. We ask that you will continue to bless the agenda items for today. We ask that you will lead our beautiful city. And Lord, may we continue to just have that assurance that you are indeed in charge. We thank you for every leader, every worker, Lord, for the great work that has been done. And we're seeing evidence of it here today. We ask that you will take control of our preceding meeting now and allow for everything to go smoothly. And for at the end of this meeting, oh God, for your name to be praised. This we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor. At this time, I will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. At this time, we will have our statement by the city attorney that must be read into the record.
Good morning. Thank you, Madam Chair. Detailed information about the processes, order of business, rules of procedure, scheduling, rescheduling of City Commission meetings can be found in Chapter 2, Article 2 of the City Code. A copy is available online at www.municode.com. Any person who is a lobbyist pursuant to Chapter 2, Article 6 of the City Code must register with the City Clerk and comply with the related city requirements for lobbyists before appearing before the City Commission. A lobbyist may not lobby a city official, board member, or staff member until registering. A copy of the code section about lobbyists is available in the City Clerk's office or online at www.municode.com. Any person making a presentation, formal request, or petition to the City Commission concerning real property must make the disclosures required by the City Code in writing. A copy of this City Code section is available at the office of the City Clerk or online at www.municode.com. The City of Miami requires that anyone requesting action by the City Commission must disclose before the hearing any consideration provided or committed to anyone for agreement to support or withhold objection to the requested action pursuant to City Code Section 2-8. Any documents offered to the City Commission that have not been provided 7 days before the meeting as part of the agenda materials will be entered into the record at the City Commission's discretion. In accordance with Section 2-33F and G of the City Code, the agenda and material for each item on the agenda is available during business hours at the City Clerk's office and online 24 hours a day at www.miamigov.com. Any person may be heard by the City Commission through the chair for not more than 2 minutes on any proposition before the City Commission unless modified by the chair. Public comment will begin at approximately 9:30 and remain open until public comment is closed by the chair. Members of the public wishing to address the body may do so by submitting written comments via the online comment form. Please visit www.miamigov.com/meeting instructions for detailed instructions on how to provide public comment using the online public comment form. The comments submitted through the comment form have been and will be distributed to the elected officials, their staff, and city administration throughout the day so the elected officials may consider the comments prior to taking any action. Additionally, the online comment form will remain open during the meeting to accept comments and distribute to elected officials, their staff, and the city administration up until the chair closes public comment. Public comment may also be provided live at City Hall, located at 3500 Pan American Drive, Miami, Florida, subject to any and all city rules as may be amended. If the proposition is being rescheduled or continued, the opportunity to be heard may be at such later date when the City Commission takes action on such proposition. When addressing the City Commission, the member of the public must first state their name, their address, and what item will be spoken about. Any person with a disability requiring assistance, auxiliary aids, and services for this meeting may notify the city clerk. The city has provided different public comment methods to indicate, among other things, the public's support, opposition, or neutrality on items and topics to be discussed at the City Commission meeting in compliance with Section 286.0114 4C Florida statutes. The public has been given the opportunity to provide public comment during the meeting and within reasonable proximity and time before the meeting. Please note, commissioners have generally been briefed by city staff and the city attorney's office on items on the agenda today. Anyone wishing a verbatim record of the item considered at this meeting may request it at the Office of Communications or view it online at www.miamigov.com. PZ items shall proceed according to Section 7.1.4 of the Miami 21 zoning ordinance. Parties for any PZ items, including any applicant, appellant, appellee, city staff, and any person recognized by the decision-making body as a qualified intervener, as well as the applicant's representatives and any experts testifying on behalf of the applicant, appellant, or appellee may physically be present at City Hall to be sworn in by oath or affirmation by the city clerk. The members of the City Commission shall disclose any ex parte communications pursuant to Florida Statute 286.0115 and Section 7.1.4.5 of the Miami 21 zoning ordinance. The order of presentation shall be as set forth in Miami 21 and the City Code. Staff will briefly present each item to be heard. The applicant will present its application or request to the City Commission. If the applicant agrees with the staff recommendation, the City Commission may proceed to deliberation and decision. The applicant may also waive the right to an evidentiary hearing on the record. For appeals, the appellant will present its appeal to the City Commission, followed by the appellee. Staff will be allowed to make any recommendation they may have. Please silence all cell phones and other noise-making devices at this time. This meeting can be viewed live on Miami TV, the city's Facebook page, the city's Twitter page, the city's YouTube channel, and Comcast Channel 77. The broadcast will also have closed captioning. Thank you.
Thank you, Victoria. At this time, we will have the city clerk read into the record.
Thank you, Chair. The procedures for individuals who will be providing testimony to be sworn in for planning and zoning items and any quasi-judicial items on today's City Commission agenda will be as follows. The members of city staff or any other individuals required to be sworn in or currently present at City Hall will be sworn by me, the city clerk, immediately after I finish explaining these procedures. Those individuals who are appearing remotely may be sworn in now or at any time prior to the individual providing testimony for planning and zoning items and quasi-judicial items. Commissioners, are you comfortable with all the notice provisions set forth in these uniform rules and procedures we have established at this meeting?
Yes,
Thank you, Chair. May I administer the oath for the planning and zoning items?
please.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. If you will be speaking on any of today's planning and zoning items, may I please have you stand and raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give at today's hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And your response is? Thank you, Chair.
At this time, we are going to set the agenda for our meeting. Mr. Manager, do you have any items that are going to be deferred or withdrawn?
Good morning, Madam Chair, Commissioners, Madam City Attorney, City Clerk. At this time, the administration would like to defer and or withdraw the following items. On the regular agenda, PH1 to be deferred to May 25th. RE2 to be deferred to May 25th. RE7 to be deferred to May 25th, and RE8 to be deferred to May 25th. In addition to those items, the mayor would like to sponsor the following items on the regular agenda: RE9, RE10, and FR3. On the PZ agenda, PZ1 to be deferred to May 25th, PZ2 to be deferred to May 25th, PZ3 to be deferred to May 25th, PZ16, wait, wait. Hold on a second. No, not those, but. Sorry, I need to reset PZs 1, 2, and 3. Instead of deferred to May 25th, they'll be indefinitely deferred. And that concludes the items. No, PC 16 stays on the agenda as listed.
Chair, may I read
16 stays? 16 stays.
just may read a brief statement into the record regarding the PC 1, 2, and 3.
Please.
Pursuant to Section 62-22 of the City Code, and definitely deferred action initiated by the City Commission will cost the city mail noticing, advertising, and posting of properties as applicable. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Kovo, do you have any items that you would like to pull or defer?
Co-sponsor.
Okay.
So RE10, FR1, and PC10.
RE10, FR1, and
PC10.
PZ10. PZ10. Commissioner Reyes, do you, Mr. City Clerk, I saw your hand up.
My apologies, Chair. Commissioner Diaz de la Portilla would like to co-sponsor RE11.
Commissioner Reyes, do you have any items? You don't have anything. I understand. Okay, so do I have a motion to set the agenda?
And I have a pocket item.
Okay.
He did.
Victoria, do you have pocket items that you need to read into the record?
Yes, there are a few pocket items that have been requested. There's a mayor's pocket, which has to do with bail bond reform.
Would that be identified as pocket item 1?
I believe so.
Vicky, can you read what's the title again?
A resolution of the Miami City Commission strongly opposing any reforms to bail and bond schedules or pretrial release programs in the 11th Judicial Circuit that would automatically grant arrested persons pretrial release on non-monetary conditions or on their own recognizance without first appearing before a judge, directing the city clerk to transmit a copy of this resolution to officials named herein and providing for an effective date.
City Clerk, Madam Chair, I would like to co-sponsor that.
Then the second pocket has to do with the revitalization trust, the Little Haiti Revitalization Trust, but we're still trying to get clarification on some language, but that's the second pocket.
Okay.
In appointing the new director.
Executive director, accepting the, it should be accepting the executive director A resolution of the Miami City Commission with attachments approving the Little Haiti Revitalization Trust Board appointment of Joanne Milford as the Trust President Chief Executive Officer.
Correct. Is there another one?
Then there is a D5 and mayoral pocket, which would be 3, right? PI 3. A resolution of the Miami City Commission allocating grant funds from District 5 Commissioner's share of the City of Miami's Miami for Everyone program in the amount not to exceed $250,000 to the Liberty City Community Revitalization Trust for the Trust 2023 Summer Youth Program.
Summer Youth Employment Program.
And further allocating grant funds from the mayor's discretionary account in a total amount not to exceed $50,000 to the trust for the program, further allocating grant funds from Venture Miami in an amount not to exceed $50,000 to the trust for the program, further authorizing grant funds from non-departmental account in the amount not to exceed $50,000 to the trust for the program, and further authorizing the city manager to negotiate and execute all necessary agreements. And I believe that is it with the pockets. And then, Chair, there was
Commissioner
one more.
Koval?
So I am going to wait with my pocket item for next commission meeting, but I do need to defer, and I didn't say it before, PC 14.
BC?
PZ 14.
PZ? PZ. Paul Zebra 14.
PZ 14.
Okay. Until when?
The first commission meeting in July.
The first meeting in July?
That would be July 13th.
Okay.
At this time, do I have a motion to set the agenda? Move it. Second? All in favor? Aye. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The agenda is now set, and at this time, we will move on to the portion of our meeting that allows us to hear from our constituents. If there's anyone here who would like to speak for public comment, please come forward.
Louis Morris Betty Garza. My address is homeless. Do I reserve the FR3 for the first reading when you bring it up again? When you have the first reading, that you can have public comments? Can I reserve it for then?
Yes?
Thank you. I would like to give you this sheet right here. I don't have copies for others.
Give it to the city clerk. He'll make copies for us.
And it reflects, if you could let her look at it, it reflects a bunch of our soldiers who were out in the field defending our liberties against tyrants, traitors, and trannies. And one of them that I would like to point out is, I don't have it here. In effect, I want to kind of thank you for having housed Kitty Rodriguez after she'd gone through the Camilla's house. And the part I didn't appreciate was that you all quickly rehoused her because she was making a big stink at Camilla's house. And you quickly rehoused her to a place in Opalaca, which would have been out of your district. And I informed her as such. And then she came back to you and said, would you get me a better place? And you all put her in the heart of Liberty City, where you have one of those machines that determine bullets flying left and right. And I'm assuming you're hoping that she'll catch a stray one. But she's doing well so far. And the reason I say this is because I feel that I have helped in assisting some of the homeless being able to get housing in a manner different from the clearly failing programs that you have. I will return for comment on the FR3, especially in particular for individuals, tyrants that wish to prevent us from enjoying ourselves at parks, but think that they can impose upon us and every little thing that we do at parks. And I'll be back with that one. Thank you.
Sorry, Chair. Ma'am, may I have your name for the record? Ma'am? Ma'am, if I could have your name for the record? I missed it. I apologize.
Louis Moore, Zabedi Garza. I'm homeless at Peacock Park. And besides that, I'm glad you all heard Trump last night trounce CNN, and I hope most of you will wake up by the next month. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Melissa Heggie. I'm at 611 Northeast 55th Street. First of all, thank you for having us. Thank you. You've all been doing an amazing job, and I know this is a kind of a thankless job in many ways, so I applaud you for your time and service. I'm here to talk about item E5. It's the shoreline funding grant for $9 million for Morningside Park. My specific interest is as it relates to the larger picture of the neighborhood. So my understanding is that, if you can see here, this is the image of the flooding in the park. This is the first step of a three-phase project, which would address lots of issues in our neighborhood, one being improving the park, the second being improving the issue of flooding in the neighborhood. We've been working on this project for a very long time. I've personally been working for the past 2 years with Resilience and Public Works, looking at their stormwater master plan and how this is the first step in improving the flooding in our neighborhoods. It's severe, it's problematic. Commissioner Covo, I did send you some backup information for your review. I appreciate your time, and please consider supporting this grant.
Good morning.
Good morning, Honorable City Commission. Brett Bebeau, Managing Director of the Miami River Commission, with offices located at 1407 Northwest 7th Street, Office 7, Miami, Florida 33125. I'm happy to provide the Miami River Commission's following advisory recommendation regarding PZ 15. During the Miami River Commission's June 6, 2022 public meeting, Ms. Iris Esquera, Greenberg-Chorig, and Bernardo Fort Brescia, Architectonica, distributed and presented plans and the attached letter of intent. I believe our letter and the letter of intent are being distributed. Thank you, Madam Clerk. For a proposed riverfront development at 400 Southeast 2 Ave on behalf of attendees Alan Matus and Phil Kreb from GenCom. Ms. Esquera and the letter of intent stated the proposal is consistent with the current zoning, land use, and the public riverwalk will comply with the code requirements of Section 3.11, Appendix B, and the Baywalk Riverwalk Design Standards and Guidelines. Ms. Esquera stated the applicants were willing to fund improvements to the existing public riverwalk beneath the Brickell Bridge, and the proposed public riverwalk will connect with existing public riverwalks to the east and west. Ms. Esquera stated they would like to keep the Poseidon Ferry, which picks up and drops off passengers at this location for service to and from Miami Beach. The River Commission did not consider and is not providing an advisory recommendation related to the city's financial considerations regarding this item. The Miami River Commission adopted a unanimous motion, respectfully recommending that the City Commission send the city-owned 400 Southeast 2 Ave to a public referendum, which was subsequently approved, to extend the current Hyatt lease and allow redevelopment generally consistent with the presented draft Miami River Bridge mixed-use development plans, featuring the public riverwalk, while utilizing the project's Parks Impact Fee as a potential funding source to reimburse the expedited improvements and reopening of the nearby Fort Dallas Park, along with restoring its historically designated Flagler Workers House. I appreciate your time and support for the Miami River District.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Diana Briceno. I live in 520 Northeast 55th Terrace in Morningside. I'm here to support the agenda item RE5 for the Morningside Park Phase 1. I know the city has engaged experts for the past several years to come up with these plans, and I personally really do trust the plan and the experts. I really want to urge you to approve the Phase 1 of the plan. I have a 3-year-old son and a baby on the way. We use the park every single day except when it floods, which we can't use it. And one thing that I wanted to mention is that the people that are opposing the plan are proposing a tall seawall that I personally find dangerous for my kid. If he were to fall in that seawall, it'd be hard or impossible for him to get out. So I thank you for the effort that you've put in the plan for years, and I hope you can approve it today. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Rachel.
Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners, Madam Chair. My name is Rachel First. I live at 570 Northeast 57th Street. I'm a almost 10-year resident of Morningside, and I've lived longer than that in the city of Miami. I am here to speak in favor of RE5, the Phase 1 plan to invest money in and improve Morningside Park. I, too, am a mother of 2 young children. Like Diana, we use the park almost every day, and this park is in desperate need of city investment and improvement. Phase 1 addresses the flooding needs in the park, which you can see in pictures below. It installs a drainage system for the entire park, and it's really a thoughtful plan that has been developed over 5 years that my neighbors and I have been coming down here and advocating for money to be spent on this park. We have watched as other parks have been improved, flooding plans have been implemented, new walkways, new play structures, new shorelines, and Morningside Park languishes. As far as I can tell, it's primarily because of design preferences that different neighbors have over where one amenity should be placed or how the shoreline should be designed. But at the end of the day, we all gave our input, and this is what the city has come up with. I think it's a great plan. We would love to see it in Morningside, and we ask you to please support the investment in this important city asset. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Kelly Cross, and I'm a resident at 580 Northeast 59th Street in Morningside. I'm here with several neighbors this morning supporting RE5. I also am a mother to a young 1-year-old, and we use the park all the time. Speaking on her behalf today, too. I know the city has put a lot of effort into this plan over several years, and hope that the funding does get approved to diminish the flooding that happens in the park and make it usable for us current residents in the neighborhood and also for future generations to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Kim Ryan, and I live at 651 Northeast 60th Street in the condos there in Morningside. And thank you very much for your service, guys. I want to tell you, commissioners, we're celebrating Morningside's 100th anniversary with a historic home tour in 10 days. This year is also Morningside Park's 70th birthday, and next year is the 40th anniversary of Morningside becoming Miami's first historic district. Morningside's history is a jewel in the city of Miami's crown, and much of its beauty is in its medians. Yet one of our most important medians, that of Morningside Park's Loop Road, would be removed by this plan. You were told the Loop Road would remain intact, but the plans clearly show the first and last 900 feet being demolished. This excellent, elegant design of a divided boulevard with a central landscape median presents a high aesthetic value and reflects the historic neighborhood. Yet the plan would demolish it, getting rid of the median, turning it into a two-way street, despite overwhelming public input asking for it to be left as is. Commissioner Covo, your staff was at the town hall meeting when the public was asked if they wanted the Loop Road kept as is, and the vote was overwhelmingly yes. You were also told the park has a natural shoreline, which is not true. The park has an artificial shoreline, hardened with limestone blocks and concrete rubble since 1953. This narrow row of shoreline mangroves that sprouted does not provide any significant environmental benefit. All it does is block the view of the bay. You have an opportunity to remove these mangroves, place the seawall along the shoreline to protect the park and restore the bay views. There are 17 nature preserves along Biscayne Bay, but there's only one Morningside Park, and it already has 2.5 acres of mangroves. Placing the seawall at the sea will require getting a permit to remove mangroves, but that can be done, as you did last meeting at Virginia Key Park and you recently did with Pallet Park. Getting it done right is much more important than getting it done right away. Please, let's common sense prevail. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Jana Mayland. I live at 478 Northeast 56th Street, also in Morningside. And I'm here to speak on behalf of myself, my neighbors, and most importantly, the kids. I myself am a mom of 3. I was here last year in March with my then 5-month-old, who is now a walking and talking 1.5-year-old. And we have been working very, very hard on getting the park improved, improving the resilience of the shoreline, and yet my kid and my other 2 kids who are 3 and 6, nothing has happened in their lifetime. And so I am just here to ask that you please, please, please approve this very, very hardly fought for plan. I think it's very good. It has had a bunch of input from everybody. And I think it's a very good plan. It would improve the resiliency. It would combat the flooding.
and make our park more usable and more beautiful. So for us and for our kids and for everyone in the future who is a resident of the city of Miami or visiting. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good morning, Elvis.
Good morning, Commissioner. Just kind of waiting for my computer to get plugged in. There we go. Yes, there it is. Good morning, Commissioner Covo. Your greatest concern about the Morningside project was public input, but the city tried to pass this plan without public scrutiny. We only know what the plan looks like because I made 2 public record requests. First, they sent me computer-generated pretty pictures, so I had to make a second request to see the plan. Even today, the plans are not in the public agenda packet. Where is the transparency in that? And yet, you're being time pressured to accept a plan Commissioner Diaz de la Portilla says stinks. This was supposed to be on the agenda a year ago, but the city delayed it. Now suddenly there's a rush to pass it. We're not buying a timeshare, we're making a permanent decision on a precious waterfront park. Why hurry to approve a shoreline protection plan that won't protect the shoreline? It's a bad plan, but some support it, fearing we won't get funding later. Please, don't let yourselves be pushed into accepting a bad plan for the city's convenience. It's much more important to get it done right than to get it done right away. At the town hall meetings, no one asked, oh, by the way, Barbara Lang is giving me another 2 minutes, Commissioner. At the town hall meetings, no one asked for the seawall to be set back into the park. These slides from the city show the public input, retain the existing character of the park, and keep the park as is, but repair and replace as needed. They showed this slide with seawalls at the sea. So if no one asked for the setback, why is it there? Because the Nature Conservancy offered $400,000 if the city would plant mangroves along the shoreline. Ken Russell said yes, so the seawall was set back. But the public opposed the mangroves, so they were eliminated, yet the plan still has a setback. We have a petition with 506 signatures specifically asking to put the seawall at the sea and leave the loop road in place. But more importantly, this should be about scientific facts and common sense. So here's a compromise. Protect the park and concession building with a seawall at the sea, but have it curve in a few places for easy public access to the water. Commissioner Covo, you are very concerned with flooding and neighbors who've been waiting for action. Here's a perfect example. The biggest flooding problem in the park was caused by the city itself when it blocked this drainage ditch with a walkway in 2012, and the area has flooded ever since. This was the work of experts. If you wonder why I'm crazy, it's because for 11 years I've been telling the city, look, you created this flooding, please fix it. They nod politely and admit the mistake, but they haven't fixed it, which would be easy to do the same way they did last year on the west side of the park, but instead they created another flooding problem. In 2018, the city wanted to move these 2 tennis courts farther south. I said, don't do that, you're gonna block another drainage ditch. They did so anyway. So now we have a second area of flooding caused by the city, even worse than the first. This was also the work of experts. They tried using an underground drain pipe, but this city slide shows the pipe gets clogged and costs $45,000 a year to maintain. Yes, $45,000 a year for one pipe. Underground drains are good for streets, but not always for a park. Above ground drainage is far easier and cheaper to install, inspect, and maintain, and it doesn't get blocked unless you block it. But now history is repeating itself. The new plan uses underground perforated pipes that would be prone to clogging. Christopher Bennett told us perforated pipe drains don't work in Morningside if it's too low. Before you spend millions installing underground drainage, perhaps you should unblock the existing above-ground system and see it work. Please put the seawall at the sea with access areas to protect the shoreline, allow the loop road and pool to stay in place, protect big trees in the concession building, and improve our bay views. Please let common sense prevail. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Neil Robertson. I live at 5991 Northeast 6th Court, Miami, Florida. I've been a resident of Morningside 40 years in 3 different homes. I've been president of the Civic Association. I'm currently the vice president of that organization. I've known Elvis for 40 years. He's been there longer than I have. But I've been on the same side with him, and I've been on the opposite side. I'm on the opposite side today. I ask you to support item 5. This item has been going around in one form or another for over 10 years. And the delay has always been Elvis, who's been adverse to anything that represents change in what he perceives to be his neighborhood. And I say that because in the past, he has attempted to declare the park historic so as nobody could change anything about it, something the rest of the community did not want and voted against. He went behind the entire south ends of the neighborhood's efforts to try to designate it as historic. I understand that there's a good argument for that, but the people there didn't want it, and they were against it. Elvis doesn't want change. It doesn't matter if we go back and do this 300, 400, 500 more times. Elvis will be here to tell you it's not right. This is the best idea, not just for the park and its flooding, and the next 2 stages that follow behind it to correct the items that he rightly points out that experts were wrong about, or the city was wrong about. And he beats that horse every time he appears before you. But this plan is part of a 3-step organization, and we're asking for money right now. This thing isn't set in solid concrete like he would like to have the shoreline be. It is a living shoreline. It benefits the bay that is dying. With Elvis's plan, we'd have the right to stand on look out on a dead bay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Jacqueline Kreiger-Degwitz. I also live in Morningside, right on the park, and it's really, really, really good. I have come here quite a few times now, and I really hope that today is going to be the day that I'm going to celebrate. I do support the plan of the city. I believe that now, if you see the shoreline, it's so unique. It's quaint. It's with the shady mangroves, and in some places you can't see through, and in other places you can, and it's just beautiful. You don't have another place in Miami like that. Yes, you have the stupid, you have the seawalls that are just straight and cement. It's so beautiful, and we really want to keep that. And I think it's good that it has a little bit in the back so that we can do the plan, because I really think that they will never approve that they are going to take all nature away there. We need nature in this city. The bay needs it. You see, I am very, very, very passionate about it, and I really, really, really hope that you are going to approve this. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, Ms. Black. How are you?
Good morning, Commissioner, Chairwoman Christine King, and other commissioners. My name is Elaine Black from the Liberty City Trust, 4800 Northwest 12th Avenue. We're here to support pocket item number 3, which provides funding for the Youth Employment Program to provide income to low-income families, job experience, and some place for the young people to keep them out of mischief during the summer. We started this program in 2015. We have provided employment to over 500 young people. It has made a difference in the lives of many people within the District 5 program. We would like to say a special thank you, Chairwoman King, for your support, and the mayor for his support, and we look forward to continuing to provide programming that has a positive impact for our residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, Professor Lattimore. How are you
Good morning,
today?
Commissioners. How are you doing this morning? My name is Sam Lattimore, former professor at the School of Justice and Safety Administration. I live at 937 Northwest 55th Street. My family has been living there in that location for over 60 years. I'm a longtime resident. I'm also president of the Charles Hadley Neighborhood Association, one of the longest running associations in the Liberty City area. I'm here to support pocket item number 3, primarily because it deals with a current crisis that we have in our community, and that is giving our kids skills and an opportunity to learn job skills. I have been working with the trust for a number of years, and I have seen the product that they produce. Young men and women who get the work experience. They also get experiences about how to conduct themselves, how to maintain their budgets. And so I commend the project, and I want to suggest that we support that, and I appreciate the District 5, the mayor, and others for contributing those dollars that will help these kids go on with their lives and be able to avoid some of the pitfalls that our community has for them. Thank you, and to all the mothers, happy Mother's Day.
Good morning, Commissioners Reyes, King, and Cobo. My name is Amber Shapiro. I'm a resident at 498 Northeast 50th Terrace near Morningside Park, and I'm here to, in favor of item number 5 of the city's plan for the park. This is the first time I'm here. I'm a mom of 2 little kids, and I work, so unlike some people, I'm not a retiree who can devote all my free time to lobbying on behalf of the park. And I hope this will be the last time that I have to come. We moved here 2 years ago, and since we moved here, I've been hearing about these plans for the park, and yet nothing is coming to fruition. That's very frustrating, as we are power users of the park. We're every day with our kids in the park, and whenever it floods, it's unusable. And that's a shame. As you know, the summer's coming, there'll be a ton of rain, and we really depend on that park for the kids in the neighborhood. It's a really important reason why we bought our home in Morningside, and we would like to stay there and continue to invest in the neighborhood, in the city, and bring what we can. But if things don't change, you know, that's a real burden on us as a family and for the whole city. Thank you so much for your time. I really hope that you will support this plan. Nice to see you, Kovo, in person. I voted for you in the last election, so I really hope that you will take our opinions into account. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Alvin Smith, 52 Northwest 39th Street. I'm speaking on reference to PZ 4 and 5, which I totally oppose. My mom and father bought that house in 1969 as a single-family resident, and we would like to keep it at that status. I have attorney David Winker that's seeking intervenor status for me, so he will be speaking in my behalf. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, on which item?
PZ 4 and 5.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Catherine Lingle. I'm at 498 Northeast 55th Terrace, a resident of Morningside. My husband and I have been residents of Miami for 10 years, and for a majority of that have been working alongside our colleagues. Many of you have heard from them today around how to progress the movement for the renovation of the park appropriately. We know that no plan will be perfect, and so we are very much acknowledging that there are opportunities to improve it. Elvis mentioned a few. No plan will be perfect, but we don't want to let perfection be the enemy of progress. So we're very much in support of the city's plan. We know that this is phase 1. We are happy to support moving forward with the allocation of resources to continue to explore and invest. Do not want to delay it any further. As Amber said, we are also power users of the park, and so to have the park be unavailable to flooding, which is bound to increase more and more as the years go by, feels a big shame if we let this opportunity pass us to make the investment and the investment today. So with that, we fully support the park's plan to move forward. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Ulysses Kemp. I reside at 76 Northwest 39th Street and also 73 Northwest 39th Street. We own 2 properties there. My mom bought in 1962, and we grew up in that house, and I bought my house in 1981, and we enjoyed having a quiet single-family residence. Last time I was here, I submitted a petition which read, "We, the undersigned, want the zoning in Buena Vista Heights to remain as is, single-family T3L. We do not want the neighborhood upzoned to duplex, T3O, or any other zoning destination. If someone wants to build duplexes, there's plenty of land It's just several blocks away, across the city, all over, and our single-family zoning is appropriate and has been appropriate since the 1920s. We ask that it stay that way. Also, you're going to have some people come up here that's going to be saying that they support the zoning change, but they don't live in Buena Vista Heights neighborhood. They live elsewhere. And I'm also the president of Buena Vista Heights Neighborhood Association, and some of the signatures that are on there are from board members and also from residents that live on the street, not several blocks away, not across the west side of Miami Avenue. So it's very important that we maintain the integrity of our neighborhood. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Alex Caballero. I'm a business owner. I'm not a lobbyist. At 5901 Northwest 2nd Avenue, Miami, Florida. This ordinance related to the smoking or vaping in public parks or beaches needs to be vetoed. There are already laws for the consumption of cannabis. I'm not sure why this is being proposed when you have a needle exchange program here in South Florida. If you are promoting needles for the public, the commissioner who introduced this ordinance possibly has a personal issue with marijuana and would prefer the public use needles for drugs. It's pretty backwards that needles are being offered to the public and you want to create more laws against medical marijuana and vapes. There are vapes that don't even have nicotine and actually have essential oils that is an alternative to nicotine vapes. I foresee a problem with this as people will not stop vaping or smoking marijuana. So why criminalize them? People will not stop using needles, and yet if you're supplying them, you're enabling an even greater problem. The same goes for this ordinance. Lay off the marijuana and vape laws. There are already federal and state laws regarding this. We have severe issues with the crime in this city that needs to be addressed. We have bigger fish to fry. The crime in the city of Miami is terrible. Why not work on making the city safer? Why not improve the quality of life here for business owners like myself so that it is more welcoming to do business in the city? My business and my neighbors' businesses have been broken into several times. And instead of combating this, you're worried about vaping and cannabis. I think the priorities are all mixed up here due to the outdated and ancient personal opinions regarding cannabis. I'm here to remind you, you don't only serve the needle users, you also serve marijuana patients, vape users, business owners, and more.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, just one question. Ma'am, what kind of business do you have?
I have a smoke shop.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. I had to lower that. My name is Maggie Ramos. I'm a resident owner in Morningside, 555 Northeast 56th Street. My husband and I have lived there for 20 years. His name is Martin Drost. I am here regarding RE5, Morningside Park Shoreline Project. Although I do agree completely, we've been going back and forth with this for years, and we need a resolution. However, I'm very concerned about a solid seawall in Morningside Park. I really would need to understand how the drainage is going to happen. There's two issues here. We have sea rise, and this would of course address that, but it does not address rainfall, which is our bigger everyday issue in the summer. Every day it rains, and we do flood in the park during heavy rains, which have nothing to do with sea rise. So what I need to know before I can actually agree with this project completely is how is the drainage going to be handled? And what I would propose, in my personal opinion, would be a seawall that has breaks every 10 feet, which would allow for natural, foliage, maybe another artificial reef, other things, but a way for the water to drain, because in essence, this would become a retention pool and could flood out our neighborhood. Thank you for hearing me out.
Thank you. Good morning.
Morning, Madam Chair, Commissioners. My name is Nabil Hashemi. I also am a resident of Morningside. I live in 498 Northeast 50th Terrace with my wife and 2 kids. We're frequent park users. I'm also here to support RE5, the shoreline project improvement. It seems like you've heard a lot from our neighbors that there are a lot of individual ideas on how to improve it. I personally trust your job, your outcome, and those of the professionals working on it. And I really hope that you release that funding and get started with the improvement of the park. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. I am Jeff King, 546 Northeast 57th Street in Morningside. I'm here in support of RE5. For the last several years, I've been at meetings about the park, and I've voiced my opinion, I've voiced my objections. I listened to my fellow Miamians do the same, and now I'm really pleased to see that city staff and engineers have come up with a plan that protects the park and creates a beautiful space for park goers to enjoy. So I would say, commissioners, please, the talking time is over. Let's move forward and fund this plan. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Marisa Capua, I'm a resident of Morningside Park, and I'm here on behalf of myself, my husband, and my young kids. And I'm here to respectfully request your approval of the funding for Morningside Park. It is a beautiful park. It's one of Miami's prettiest parks, and it just seems like it's been forgotten and neglected. And there's so much potential there for use and enjoyment. And we live directly across the street from it. We've been directly impacted by the drainage issue that even Elvis has acknowledged. And this plan does have a system for dealing with the drainage, and we need the funding in order to improve those issues. So again, I hope that you do approve this funding so that we can move forward and so that this can be a park that's used by not just the residents, but the city as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, Ms. Gibson. How are you today?
Let me say good morning. Good morning to you, Madam Chair, and members of the commission, to our city manager and our clerk and his staff and the officers and their staff. I'd like to say good morning to everybody here. And I am Thelma Anderson Gibson, living in Little Bahamas, 3661 Franklin Avenue. I'd like to recognize our new commissioner, Commissioner Kovo, and of course, you know my friend, Commissioner Raves. And I'm always here not to really have to speak about the items PC 18, which is Christ Episcopal Church, which is coming up for second reading for zoning. And it passed first time, and I know it'll pass today. So that's why I want to say thank you. I have to go to the Claude Pepper luncheon that's being held today. So I just wanted to get here to say thank you and know that I'm in favor of PC 18, which is Christ Episcopal Church. And you all know our priest is here, and I don't like to speak before him and our council. And so, because we don't need much, I just needed you to know that I am too grateful. All of us at Christ Church are grateful to all of you for all you do for all of us. And I just wanted to be here to say thank you. And I do have to leave.
Thank you.
And I know PC 18 always comes so late, and they do need to leave and get back. You know, the priest is here, and he needs to get back to the church. So if you could just hear them early before you leave, you know how much I'll appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
God bless you all.
Always a pleasure to see you.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Morning, Commissioners. Thank you for your time. My name is Tony Rapsamanicus. I'm also a resident of Morningside at 5990 Northeast 6th Court. I'm here with many neighbors and friends in support of RE5. I, too, have 2 young children who are avid users of the park, whether it be the playground, soccer practice, arts classes, etc. And we love that park. It's our daily activity, and the flooding issues that have occurred there are very problematic. I'm hopeful that you'll approve this plan today so that the residents of Morningside and the many people across Miami who use the park on a daily basis can enjoy it for all the benefits that we have in our community. Thank you.
Chair, I'm sorry. Can I have the speaker's name again? We just didn't hear him when he initially stated it on the record.
My name?
Yes, sir.
Sure. Anthony Rapsamanicus.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is John Snyder. I live at 3980 Hardy Avenue, and I'm here to speak about RE5. I'm not sure that I'm in favor of it or opposed, but it seems that the changes that would be made to Morningside Park Perhaps people who are speaking in favor of this have worn out their ability to put off and keep putting off things. And that has been a problem. The initial plans to improve the park and to make the revisions to it all involved having the seawall be located at the edge of the bay and not to obstruct the view of the bay from the park. People go to the park to enjoy many things, but part of it is the openness, the trees. Many of these things would be destroyed by this plan. So it's the particulars of the plan rather than the funding to which we object. And I think that Elvis Cruz made a very strong case in his presentation on April the 13th. So let's not rush, well, it's not rushing because it's been more than 10 years. And people they can't put this off. They live in the neighborhood, their children use the park, there are flooding issues. These things need to be addressed, but they need to be addressed in a way that the park will still be enjoyable. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Zach Friedman. I live at 430 Northeast 51st Street in Morningside. I'm here in support of RE5. I want to thank you guys for dedicating even more time to this issue. I've lived in Morningside since 2018. I've lived in the area for many years before that. I've followed this issue. Anyone can nitpick a plan, but this has been the result of many years of public input. I, too, have 2 young children. They use the park as much as they can, which is not enough because of the flooding issues. So there's a drainage plan in place. There's a plan to protect the natural shoreline. A seawall, I agree with many of my neighbors, is a danger for people with young children. My daughter's a runner, and if she falls in, there's nowhere for her to go. So I think this plan reflects all of our interests, and we've heard public comment for years and years and years, and I'm in full support of the job you guys have done, and we appreciate it, and here requesting funding for the park plan. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Ms. King. Commissioner King, good morning, Commissioner Kovo. Good morning, Commissioner Reyes. Commissioner King, just really quickly, Mr. Cruz spoke for more than 2 minutes. Can you explain why?
Someone offered their time to him.
I see. Okay. Perfect. I'll be prepared to start. Thank you so much. My name is Mark Billings. I'm an avid civic activist. I've been involved from Coconut Grove to building technology accelerators to building the first dog park in Miami, and I am a Morningside resident at 5960. What has been unexpectedly difficult in this is that as a community, we have been divided. And it is not because of the community. It is because of an individual who is confusing us. He's remarkable. He's a remarkable individual. Truly, I've spent 6 hours with him over the last week talking about exactly what it is that's important to him in order to be able to get progress here. He has publicly accused me of being a racist. He has taken private emails and confused issues. He has made the point that I am racist because we wanted to recapture 10 acres of public space, and he is suggesting that the barbecue pits that have been around since the 50s, that are uncovered, surrounded by parking, are the best we can do for our community. He confuses the issue by putting ideas in people's heads that Morningside is some elitist community. It is not. It is just working people. Are they hardworking? Are they lawyers, doctors? These are just people, but they care for the community. I'd like to pause for a second until I can have the full attention of the commission. I guess not. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Linger would like to yield his time to me.
That is how, yes.
Thank you, Mike.
Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Mike Lingle. I reside at 498 Northeast 55th Terrace, and I yield my time to Mr. Billings. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you, Ms. King. So this park, which was built in the 1950s, I had an extra 16 seconds left, please, which in the 1960s was built as a drive-in park. We can achieve as a community a wonderful experience. Ms. King, in particular, I believe this is important to you, this park. I believe this is intimately important to you, and I believe that there's a racial divide that you believe exists in this park. It does not. The only thing...
I don't believe that.
Okay, good, because it does not. Okay, it is one of the most...
I've played in that park since I was a child.
And I play everyday basketball. It is the most universally open place. We are being held hostage, Miss King. Hostage, yes, hostage. Elvis is a master. He is the master of confusion, okay? I'll take you through it. We luckily got the updated tennis center done. Okay, he opposed it, he opposed it, he opposed it. It is the most occupied and used asset the city has right now. It's the best tennis facility. It's used by everybody. Black, Latin, white, doesn't matter. My daughter, a cute girl. Guess what? That's how old she was when we started this conversation. That's how old she is now. Are you really willing to tell me that that guy is going to stop you from improving the park for your constituents? Because as it stands today, your community has no soccer field. No soccer field. No soccer field. And little Haiti loves soccer, and they come to play all over this park. Not a single soccer goal in this park. Because Elvis wants to preserve the softball field, Miss King. Miss King, you're holding one man. I don't understand. Do we get it? This is the park that, Ms. King, this is what Mr. Cruz would like to have in our park. Because he said, this is what we do everywhere else. This is Alice Wainwright Park. This is what the city built. This is a disaster. This is Margaret Pace Park. That looks pretty nice to me. That's what the city is proposing here. Do not let Elvis confuse you.
My name is Javier Fernandez. I'm donating my time to Mr. Billings here.
Thank you very much.
And Chair, just for the record, that will give 1 additional minute.
Mr. Cruz cares only about one thing, Commissioner Reyes. Okay? He was born in Morningside. His house was given to him when his mother passed away or had just passed on to him. He spends all of his time building his own personal brand around the concept that he's the savior of our city. He's our savior. Truly, he's our savior. Except he's not. Okay, he's just simply not. He's confusing all of us. If you allow this one man to hold us hostage when the entire city, Parks Department, Public Works Department, your team is saying, go and do this plan, improve our park. I don't feel like I have your attention, Ms. King. That's the third time you've been distracted from my presentation. Is what I'm saying not important?
Sir, I am listening to you. I'm also checking to see who's walking in. I've listened to you as I've listened to everyone here. And you've wasted a lot of time talking about what someone else said instead of what you want. But we get it. Your time is up now. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Tatiana Lozon. I'm a resident of 670 Northeast 58th Street. I'm also here asking you to please approve the plan for Morningside. Just know that the people that have talked today, it's only a small fraction of all of us that are asking you to please, please, please approve this plan. Just like a lot of the moms here, I'm also a mom of two. We moved into the neighborhood primarily because of the park, because we loved it. We moved from Houston and there's nothing compares to Morningside Park. So please approve it. I don't want my kids to get out of the house and not have a park that they can use any longer. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Chairwoman, Commissioner Reyes, Commissioner Covo. My name is Daniel Mayland, 478 Northeast 56th Street. I'm also the volunteer chair of the Morningside Civic Association's Parks Committee, which renders me a little bit crazy, I think, because there are impassioned voices here. And the last time we were before you all, we had a handful of people on both sides, and we said, let's get back together and see how people really feel about this. As you can see, there is a lot of support. And I went online, I made a change.org petition, which I've never done before, just to see really how it is. In the past 2 weeks, we've gotten over 650 votes supporting this resolution only, not a hypothetical plan, not something aspirational pie in the sky. It is representative of all of Miami and people outside of Miami who come into town. This is a matter that will affect each of your constituents directly. The soccer players who have flooded fields, the barbecuers that have flooded barbecue pits, the kids, the adults, everyone. And we've gone to a point where we've heard 5 years, we've heard 10 years. My records show is 2016 when this started, and there's never gonna be a moment where there aren't gonna be experts involved. And there's never gonna be a moment where those experts' opinions aren't gonna be challenged. But there is gonna be a moment where Morningside Park is gonna wash away. And that moment's now. It's continuing to happen. If you look at the cover of the petition, which I'm gonna submit to the record with its comments, that's a photo of the park now with the sidewalk washing away into the bay. We got a great plan. Because of you all, because of hard work by the city over years. This is not the product of any one person, and it's time to put into action. We thank you so much for the attention you've provided throughout all those years in getting us to this place. Let's keep it moving. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good morning.
Bonjour, Madam Chairwoman and Commissioners.
Bonjour.
I support RE5 and Elvis. Please be so kind as to leave the seawall where it is at the shoreline and keep the paths. They're so cute at 6 feet. They don't have anything around them. They're absolutely adorable. I love Morningside Park, where I go and my dogs go, and I take other people's dogs there. I just love it. So please do whatever you can. Thank you so much.
Chair, if I could have the speaker's name. Ma'am?
Madam.
Ma'am? If I just have your name, if you could state your name on the record.
My name is Brigitte Grosjean.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Lorena Ramos, chairperson of Buena Vista Stakeholders. I've been a court reporter for 31 years and a fierce advocate for my community, and my most proudest moment, a single mom. I'd like to share with you on PZ4 and PZ5. When we first got our notice, the first thing I did was, of course, scheduling a community meeting, distributing flyers. Mr. Kemp graciously wanted to join me in our journey and having our community here. Other concerns, we had our community meeting, we went to PZAB, and everything was united until we got there. We then took a deferral because Mr. Kemp wanted to take a deferral. He wanted to have another community meeting. I guess he never had one, but in the meantime, we were never able to find out who, as he was saying, was opposing this particular application. What worries me about this particular application is that if you notice from the 3 sites that we have, these 3 properties, everything east is commercial. So this is a really great and appropriate transitional property or zoning for our neighborhood. In addition, if you look at the petition, there are only 4 people that signed from North Miami Avenue to Northwest First, where Mr. Kemp lives. Only 4 people signed against it. as well as going south, it's all commercial. I received a phone call from Beverly and Alvin, who told me, and not Mr. Alvin here, who told me they just sold their property. Theirs is TO. Everything is getting sold on the south side, which these 2 units back up into. So I ask you just to consider that, keeping it residential and having this transitionary zoning for our neighborhood. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Milagros Piñon. I'm a resident of Morningside. I live at 501 Northeast 55th Street. I'm here in support of agenda item RE5 regarding the funding for the Morningside Park shoreline. I enjoy the park on a daily basis and believe the park needs urgent investment. I was encouraged by the unanimous approval of the master plan last year. We're ready to go. Please approve the funding. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. How are you today?
I'm very good. Thank you,
Love that
Chairwoman.
red dress.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to see you. Good morning, Commissioners. I'm here for PZ4 and 5, which I find that we're at a very interesting moment in this conversation. As Ms. Ramos mentioned, we came together as a community, and I love that because I feel that there's a lot of change already occurring in our community, and as residents and homeowners, we should be able to really look at how we want the growth to occur in our community. For many years now, we've had an empty lot next to us and 2 houses that are just not well kept in front of my parents' house, 43 Northwest 39th Street. We are most affected because my parents are right next to 39 Northwest 39th Street and across from the 2 properties that are being built. So clearly, we would be very much in our right to be against it because they're going to be experiencing the most harsh conditions from construction, et cetera. The bottom line, though, is that, how long will we be the communities that are always not in my backyard? We don't want any progress. We want to leave everything exactly like it is. And so everybody surrounds us with progress, and we always end up looking like the eyesore. And so I'm definitely not in favor of commercial, and I think that we were doing a very smart thing by allowing the residential duplexes to come to our community, considering that just 28 houses down to the west side, they're all T3O. So I do get concerned because there have been conversations in community that spoke to supporting each other and communicating. Now it seems like we've got lawyers involved from people who said they were pressured to respond against this. So I just want to say I'm in favor of it. I want the progress, and I want us to be in charge of our own destiny versus being pushed out. Thank you.
Chair, my apologies, ma'am. Can you state your name for the record? Ma'am, if you could just state your name for the record.
Yes, my name is Carmen Ramos Watson, and 43 Northwest 39th Street and 54 Northwest 40th Street.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning.
My name is Andrea Dreyfus, 679 Northeast 58th. Andrea Dreyfus, 679 Northeast 58th Street. I'm in support of RE5. I know you heard from a lot of my neighbors, our friends. We are very passionate about this. We're taking the time. I'm a parent of 2 small children. We love the park. We love Morningside. We're only here because we care so much. We believe in the plan. We support the plan. Please do not let a very vocal, very small minority who do not even utilize the park like we do derail all the progress we've made over these years. So please support us. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Renee Lewis. I reside at 1631 Northwest 33rd Ave, Miami, Florida, 33125. I'm going to read from my phone just because I'm a little nervous. But I will say that I was born in 1982. I grew up in Morningside Park, not residing there, and then later residing there. I could not afford to reside there today, but I continue to go to the park in order to take part in its beauty. The 40-foot trees, those take a while to grow, and so while it's inconvenient to have to wait years, I think it's worth it to get a plan that's right. Throwing money at it isn't always going to fix the problem. And voting for a shoreline protection plan that won't protect the shoreline, that won't fix the problem. People can agree about the problem is the flooding, and if there's a way to mitigate that by an easier fix that doesn't require a lot of money and destruction of nature, of birds that use the trees, and the beauty of the park, then that makes a lot of sense in my book. Paving over green space for a 15-foot wide walkway, the park flooding because the city has blocked the drainage ditch and that walkway for 11 years. Please fix that. Maybe fixing that could be a way that everybody could get what they want and make it about the park and not about anybody personally and not about just one set of residents, but the broader people of Miami being able to use Morningside Park. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Michelle King. I live at 546 Northeast 57th Street in Morningside. We bought our home in 1986, so I've been before you before. I would like to speak on behalf of RE5. I would encourage you, please, to vote for the program. There's no perfect plan. There's not going to be a perfect plan. I've watched this plan evolve over the past 10 years. I think that we're pretty close. I encourage you to fund this plan. I would also like to say thank you for removing the pool. I have watched, after the removal of the pool, families having picnics there. Beautiful, it's wonderful. Don't get me wrong, we need a pool. But you're doing a wonderful job, and I want to thank you very much, and thank you for listening.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Brandon Lewis. I live at 1631 Northwest 33rd Avenue. I have family in Morningside Park, married into a family, and I'm speaking against funding that project on the basis of not being too rash. Sometimes in situations where we have danger impending on property or on land, we want to fix the situation right away. And when we get into that type of emotional state, we look for a solution that sounds really good. And in this day of high technology, when things seem complex, it looks like the best decision to go with. I propose that maybe there could be a simpler solution to this. Apparently there is a above ground drainage system there that is blocked time to time. Of course, if it's blocked, it does not work properly. It's these little details that need to be searched out more instead of doing something that is pretty invasive. And another thing, my family member in Morningside Park is Elvis Cruz. As anyone here can see, clearly I am of a darker complexion. So Elvis has welcomed me in his family. I would say that he's not a racist. I just wanted to say that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Mark Supino. I'm at 606 Northeast 56th, Morningside resident. I would like to speak on the record in support of RE5, investment in Morningside Park to help mitigate flooding and improve the park that is so well used. I also would like to take this opportunity to recognize our neighbors who have shown up in masses, whether they are for or against the project, just to show their passion for the neighborhood. And that is important. I would like that message to not be lost amongst what might seem like discord. The passion demonstrated, whether people are for or against, is really what civic discussion is about and civic engagement. And we should all be proud of ourselves and give ourselves a round of applause for our participation. I would also like to say that you may not have expected RE5 to dominate, and it has dominated the discussion today. Let not the voice of a few who may be powerful overtake the voices of many in numbers. So thank you for your time and consideration. A comment unrelated to RE5, I just wanted to disambiguate an earlier comment about needle exchange. That is considered harm reduction, and I would like that to be considered separate from whatever other parameters you are discussing. It was a confounding of factors. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Alicia Stein. I'm a resident at 455 Northeast 55th Street. I'm here today to speak in my support of item RE5 and support for the grant funding for the improvement of Morningside Park. I thank you for your time, for being here and supporting our community, the chair, men and women here today. I too am a community worker. I'm a frontline healthcare worker. I was in the hospitals all through the pandemic and utilizing with my children Morningside Park as this beautiful, beautiful open space was really like a haven, right? We were locked down, we were in there, and it's just such a gem. And this conversation was pre-pandemic, just like 9/11, all these other things, there's this pre-life, post-life. This, you know, someone mentioned speaking rashly or acting too hastily. What is rash? 10 years, this has been on the item pre-pandemic, and we're still, our children are growing up, the city, the neighborhood is evolving, and I think the time for comment, the time to get involved, has already, we're here, we've been here, and now let's progress and move forward. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Paula Suarez, and I live on 5990 North Bayshore Drive. I've been here before, and I'm here again supporting RE5 in support of funding Morningside Park. The project has been a long time in the making, and it has extensive public involvement. It reflects the needs and desires of the community, and approving it represents a significant milestone to enhance, preserve, and make Morningside Park safe for use for years and years to come. I'm also a mother of small children who play in the park every day, particularly soccer. I have a 6-year-old son who loves soccer. We talked about the Haitian community using the soccer fields as is, flooded or not. They come in and they play soccer there whenever they need to. I also wanted to point out, you know, putting a soccer field is going to be very useful in keeping the structure safe. One of the soccer posts that was there actually broke on my husband's head when he was playing with my 6-year-old. So keep pushing this further, you know, and people using the structure as is, there might be serious problems down the road as well. Imagine if it was on my 6-year-old's head. So please approve it and support the funding so we can get the park better for the people to use it. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioner. How are you today? James Torres, President of DNA. Happy to be here. I'd like to speak on 2 items. First and foremost, the RE10, which is the leaf blowers. We're kindly asking that you guys move forward on that. We're also thankful that Commissioner Kovo is co-sponsoring that as well. But we'd like to ask if that can be expanded to include maybe landscapers that are also part of this issue that we're having, that, you know, they kind of do their job and it kind of gets swept out in the street. I know Commissioner Kovo, we've shared some Instagram posts as it relates to these leaf blowers. So I appreciate if you can maybe assist us in moving that forward with the Commissioner Reyes as well. RE5, the Morningside situation. If this is the best option that the city of Miami has, it's time to move forward. I wholeheartedly believe that as a user of Morningside, because we've been back and forth on this item more than 10 years. I saw a picture today of an infant who's now, 6, 7 years old or even older. So enough is enough. You guys hold the advantage to move forward on this item. And it's about the residents, it's about the community, and it's about finally giving back something that is long overdue. Thank you.
Madam Chair, just a point of clarification. The change in code applies to everybody that uses a blower.
On the leaf blowers we're talking
That's right. The leaf blower applies to everybody.
But the way it's kind of worded, not that I'm challenging, it's just future vendors. Vendors are what the city is contracting or landscapers from the community and buildings?
Absolutely, everybody.
Okay, perfect. We appreciate that. So hopefully yourself and Commissioner Coble can
That's right.
move on, and we have a majority on this item, sir. Okay? All right, thank you for clearing that. Or even worse, it goes right back in the street and
Oh, dog
in the
goes
drain.
back on the street.
Right.
I mean,
So-
you can use the blower to pick up.
Yep, let's not be lazy anymore, I guess is the key
Absolutely.
word.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
And then if we can
Thank
talk
you.
about homeless, I got 2 seconds. Thank you.
Nuh-uh, it's over. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Patricia Rivadeneira. I live at 541 Northeast 56th Street. I am here to support item number 5. I deeply hope that this finally gets approved. My kids go to the park every single day. We get impacted every time it floods. They cannot go. It gets closed for many days, and we just have to keep them home. And I don't think that's fair. And I think we all support the city, and we hope that we finally get those funds in order to get it better. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Good morning.
I can defer to Jonathan. I think he's the last speaker on the morning side, it seems.
You're giving your time to him?
No, I'm not giving my time. She wants to go first.
Oh, okay.
So Commissioner Covo, Madam Chairwoman King, Commissioner Reyes, my name is Jonathan Rafi. I live at 499 Northeast 55th Terrace in Morningside. I volunteered to be a member of the MCA board and currently serve as treasurer. I'm here today to speak in favor and support of RE5. The city has been working on this for years, as you've heard. We had meetings in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, and then in 2022, this commission voted unanimously with Resolution R220116 to approve the master plan. The master plan clearly shows number 24 is a living shoreline. The city then moved forward with design plans that were approved. Those design plans are done. As you see over here, the design includes a significant amount of drainage. All this dark area, these are underground exfiltration trenches done to standards. This is done in line with the City of Miami Public Works and Resiliency. So these drains should work. If they don't, then the city needs to revisit their codes. But these are good drains. These will work and will drain the park. The loop road is still there, intact. And as you can see, it's really a beautiful plan. We're in favor of it. Now is the time to move forward. The seawall at the shoreline will not work. That will destroy the entire shoreline. To move forward with this, think about it. If you build the seawall at the shoreline, you are going to demolish and destroy hundreds of trees, some mangroves, some not mangroves in the whole area. Please support. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Chaim Lipsker. I live at 50 Southwest 17th Road. I'm the rabbi of the Rock Family Shul, Chabad Downtown Jewish Center in the heart of Brickell. I'm speaking on RE9. I think we have a historic opportunity today to redesignate the street of Southeast and Southwest 9th Street as Chabad Street, as Chabad is a global humanitarian relief group that supports wherever there's people, no matter whatever need they need, whatever from tsunamis in Thailand to soup kitchens in Israel to taking care of the people over here in Miami. During that Hurricane Irma, we've given out over 100,000 meals between the time of COVID as well, and so we're very honored for this resolution. I want to thank Commissioner Covo for sponsoring and the mayor for co-sponsoring the resolution. And we hope that you'll redesignate the street to Chabad Street. It'll bring tremendous pride to our community, the Jewish community. We're the first synagogue in the heart of downtown Brickell. And especially right now when there's so much anti-Semitism in the world, it'll be a big statement by the city of Miami to redesignate this street as Chabad Street. And it will as well join many of the major cities around the world that have Chabad streets in Jerusalem and Tel Aviv, New York, Toronto, Paris, and other great cities around the world. Thank you very much.
Mr.
you.
City Clerk, I want also to co-sponsor this renaming.
Thank you for co-sponsoring.
Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Commissioners. Marissa Amuel, 98 Southeast 7th Street. I'm here also in support of RE9 to co-designate 9th Street. This is the street in front of our shul or synagogue in Brickell. It's the only synagogue in the Brickell downtown area. It would be an honor and a tribute to this amazing community that the Lipsker family has been building over the last 20 years. My family's been very involved in the synagogue with Chabad for almost a decade now. We've seen it flourish from a very small congregation to the beautiful building you see before you, which houses a preschool, programming for young professionals, weddings, and of course, religious services on a regular basis. It has enriched the lives of thousands of young people, and it's really a gathering place for families. So it's very appropriate and deserving that the street in front of the Chabad will be called Chabad Street, hopefully, for today, to honor their legacy and contributions to the community. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Chairwoman King, Commissioner Reyes, and Commissioner Kovo. First of all, I just wanted to thank you for your leadership, and thank you for making Miami the greatest city on earth. I'm here today in support of the Rock Family Shul in Chabad of downtown Miami. Chabad is a global religious Jewish organization which focuses on bringing godliness, holiness, and spiritual light down to earth. We are joined today by the rabbis, Rabbi Chaim and Rabbi Eli Lipsker, and their wives and mother as well, who are the warmest and most welcoming and friendly rabbis I have ever met, and we are here to support the renaming of Southeast 9th Street to Chabad Street. Thank you, and God bless you.
Chair, sir, can you just state your name for the record?
Jonathan Beller.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. My name is Deanie Lipsker. I live at 50 Southwest 17th Road. I'm a resident of Brickell for 18 years and helped co-develop the Rock Family Shul Chabad. I help run the preschool as well, and the redesignation of the street will bring tremendous pride to our community, to our school, to our students, and especially at a time of anti-Semitism, it will be a beacon of light and pride to the entire city of Miami. So we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Rabbi Eli Lipsker. I'm also a rabbi at the Rock Family Shul and a chaplain with the Miami Police Department. I'd like to give my time back to the rabbi, if that's possible. My brother, I'd like to give him another 2 minutes.
I only need another 2 minutes, but I just wanted to add two important things. On the resolution, it says on the resolution it says Southeast First Avenue / Southwest First Avenue. And the actual legal language says Brickell Plaza. So just Brickell Plaza is Southeast First Avenue. It's the same exact street. So just to make sure that from Southeast First Avenue to Southwest First Avenue. And also the current signage is on the corner of Southwest First Avenue, which is in front of Publix Mary Brickell Village. We would like the signage to be moved, or not moved, I'm sorry, in addition to that signage on the corner of Southeast 9th Street, which is by Brickell Plaza, which is where our beautiful center is situated. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Avi Simon, and I am a proud member of the Rock Family Chabad Shul in Brickell. I've been going to the Rock Shul well before I moved to Miami when I lived in Fort Lauderdale, and it's not just a destination for young Jewish professionals in the South Florida area, but we see visitors from all around the world. And just to tell you a little bit about the Chabad brand, that it's a recognizable brand anywhere you go in the world. I just came from Cartagena, Colombia, where they were hosting Jews from all over the world visiting, and having the street renamed to Chabad Way, it would be a big statement for not just the Chabad here, but also for the Chabads all over the world. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Commissioner Reyes, Commissioner Kovo. Jonathan Archer, the Rector of Christ Episcopal Church, 3481 Hibiscus Street, here to speak again in support of items PZ 18 and 19, the land use and zoning changes that are necessary for our church to move forward with affordable housing. As I said when I was here the last time, we just want to do housing. We don't intend to sell the land. We intend to be mindful of the concerns of the community, and so we are hopeful that you will move ahead and approve this second reading. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Brenda Betancourt, 1436 South 6th Street. I'm in support of FR1. And just have a question, how we planning on enforcing this new resolution for all of us to kind of follow? It's not just important to have it on paper, but how are you actually going to be able to do it? And if those are going to remedy not just about the leaf that goes into the drainage and then we all get flooded, but what about how are we going to be enforcing these new regulations that we are, that's really needed for the drainage and the situation of the flooding in the city of Miami? And if this is going to be actually make impact on those landscapers who does work in the city of Miami and doesn't respect our city when they not just throw leaves, is everything else goes into the drainage. So that's just a simple question, and I know you.
It is, through the chair, it is a good question, and I defer to the city manager. How are we going to enforce this?
Thank you.
It's really going to be sort of a joint effort. It's police, it's public works, solid waste. We have a number of different mechanisms.
Absolutely.
We have eyes on it, but we also realize that we're going to have people that are going to report incidences too.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
This concludes the public comment portion of our meeting. Going once, going twice. Seeing none, we're going to move forward with our agenda. There's a motion to move all the CAs. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
CAs have been passed.
Madam Chair, would you like to move the RE agenda?
Yes, I would like to move the RE agenda. Do I have a motion for RE 1, 3, 4, 5, 6,
I move it.
9, 12, and 13?
9, 12.
Yeah.
It was move.
Move. Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
RE agenda has passed.
Madam Chair, did you pull out RE11?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't call that one. 10 and 11 were pulled.
10 and 11.
10 and 11. I didn't,
No, 10 was not pulled.
Yes.
no, 10 was pulled.
Yes. 10 was pulled, yes.
10
Oh,
was pulled.
10 was
I
pulled.
didn't call 10.
Okay.
Okay.
Now I would like to move RE10.
It was pulled, it was deferred. No, it
No.
wasn't deferred?
No,
Yes or no?
no, it wasn't deferred.
10 and
Okay.
11 weren't deferred.
Okay.
RE11 was deferred,
R11 was deferred.
but RE10, I think it was included in your list.
R11 is still in play.
Yeah, RE11 is still in play. 10 and 11 were still on the agenda as part of the regular agenda.
That's
file.
right.
We didn't pull or defer those.
Neither one of them.
The only
Okay,
ones,
well,
the only
we
ones
need
that
to-
were deferred were 2, 7, 8,
I have 2, 7, 8.
and that's it on the RE agenda.
Okay, and I had 10 and 11, so I didn't call out 10 and 11. So we need to,
Yeah.
Call out.
we need to vote on RE 10 and 11. Do I have a
I
motion?
move it. I'll second it.
All in
Madam-
favor?
Madam-
Victoria?
For RE11, we need to just make a certain changes, which is that no fault to the city on the, because the resolution right now states that we're admitting to fault, so no fault to the city, each side to bear their own costs, so no cost to the city, and a release, hold harmless, and indemnification.
Commissioner?
Thank you. Is this the item we discussed?
Yes.
Okay, and what changes are you making now to what we discussed?
vis-à-vis what we discussed?
No, just what we discussed, which is a release, hold harmless, and indemnification, each side to bear their own costs, because we were appealing an 18,000 award of attorney's fees.
I know.
So that, for each side to bear their own costs, so that they don't charge us the 18,000, because we were still appealing that. And then no fault to the city as it's drafted, because it's drafted as that it's a fault to the city, that we're saying that we were at fault for something and we're not.
As a professional courtesy, Madam Chairwoman, can we come back to this a little bit later, towards the end? Can we do that? Leave it out for now, for conversation for later?
If that is the will
Let
of
me
the
hear from
body,
the,
if that's the will of the
or if you
body.
don't mind, can I hear from the mayor first?
Madam Chair, good morning. Javier Fernandez for the record, law office at 1200 Brickell Avenue. Commissioner, I just wanted to know for the record, we have no objections to the modifications that the siege attorney is proffering. I had spoken to Mr. Greco earlier, and we are in agreement with those changes.
I think it'd be a good idea you call me and tell me that. What do you think, Mayor? you know, you and I have known each other for a long time.
I know. You got it a little bit later than I did
simple
this
text will
morning.
do.
Thank you.
Don't surprise me.
That's why I wanted to get up and let you know. Thank
I
you,
like
sir.
to be surprised. So she's okay?
We are okay with the changes.
And Madam Attorney, you okay too? Okay. As long as everybody is in.
Madam Chair, I just want to make sure that there was something that, because this is important because it's in my district, and I was briefed on this item, and one of the main complaints that I was getting was that it wasn't being open because of the litigation. So from day one, I came in and I asked what was happening, because of course the green space is important for Brickell. Brickell is in desperate need of green space. So as part of what we would want for this is to be reopened.
Yes.
I mean, it's going to be reopened as a park until the family decides exactly how they're going to use it. And then the other thing that I would request is to make sure that it's going to be used as an open space as well. I understand that the property has an owner, but I do believe, and that's respectfully asking the owner, that we need to make sure that it's a lot that it shouldn't be a high rise.
Yes, as the resolution reflects, we would be entering into a license agreement with the city to allow it to be used as basically a park under private ownership for, I think at the shortest duration we would expect for at least a year. And if there is an activation in the future, we'll have a significant public component, but for the moment we have no plans.
And this is a conversation, also a priority to me, Commissioner, that we had before.
Okay.
So, yes.
Then we agree.
I'm on the same page as you are.
And Commissioner, we thank you for bringing this matter forward, and to Commissioner Diaz-Lapordilla for co-sponsoring the item. We are grateful to be resolving this protracted litigation.
And it would also give us about a year to make sure that we can generate, Mr. Manager, I don't know how as yet, but more green space for the Brickell area. We've gotten a few requests, including a dog park, that it's much needed for the residents.
All right, I have a motion and a second. RE 11 as amended. All in favor?
Does that include RE 10?
Yes. 10
RE 10 and 11? Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
All in favor? Motion carries.
Okay.
Do I have a motion for FR 1, 2, and 3?
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Chair, the titles need to be read into the record for the first reading
Oh, I'm
ordinances.
sorry, that's
and
true.
FR3 is going to be amended.
What?
And FR3 is going to be amended on the floor.
Okay. Madam City Attorney, can you read for the record the titles?
FR1, an ordinance of the Miami City Commission amending Chapter 22, Article 1 of the Code of the City of Miami, Florida, as amended, titled Garbage and Other Solid Waste in General, by establishing Section 22-23 of the City Code, titled Prohibited Disposition of Yard Waste, Dirt, or Debris when using leaf blowers or raking, protecting stormwater. When using leaf blowers or raking, protecting stormwater catch basins and city right-of-ways, further amending Chapter 22, Article 3 of the City Code, titled Garbage and Other Solid Waste Enforcement and Administration, by establishing Section 22-93 of the City Code, titled Penalties for Prohibited Disposition and Raking of Yard Waste, Dirt, or Debris when raking or using leaf blowers, providing penalties for violations of Section 22-23 as stated herein, containing a severability clause and providing for an effective date. FR2, an ordinance of the Miami City Commission amending Chapter 31, Article 4 of the Code of the City of Miami, Florida, is amended titled Local Business Tax, Miscellaneous Business Regulations, Shopping Carts, to clarify City of Miami departments used for enforcement and to provide more stringent compliance for cart pickup after removal by a city from public property containing a severability clause and providing for an effective date. And FR3, there was a substitution, an ordinance of the Miami City Commission prohibiting smoking and vaping, including but not limited to the consumption of cannabis in all its forms and extract products in public parks and beaches, amending Chapter 37 of the Code of the City of Miami, Florida, is amended titled Offenses Miscellaneous by creating Section 37-17 titled Smoking and Vaping, including but not limited to the consumption of cannabis in all its forms and extract products in public parks and beaches prohibited, further directing the city manager to take any and all actions necessary to implement the ordinance and spread public awareness of its effect, including but not limited to the posting of signage in public buildings, parks, and beaches containing a severability clause and providing for an immediate effective date.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
I'm sorry, Chair, who is the mover? Oh,
I move it.
Reyes, okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries. I'd like to take up the pocket items now. Have you resolved the issue that you had with the Little Haiti Revitalization
Yes.
Trust? Okay. Do I have a motion for the pocket items?
Move it.
Second?
Well, we have an additional pocket item, I believe, Madam Attorney, that last minute that I introduced.
Yes.
So we can move all of them except that one you want, and maybe we have that conversation right after? Or you
Right,
want to
you-
read it into the record and do public comment and then?
Correct.
Okay, so for pocket item 1, 2, and 3, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Would you like to read pocket item 4 for the record? And I'll open up for public comment.
A resolution of the Miami City Commission directing the city manager to take all efforts for the city commission to go back to at-large districts.
What? At-large districts in the city of Miami. So this is a conversation about, obviously, the lawsuit. I want our city attorney to brief us what's happening with that. But one of the things that I thought would make a great solution or provide us an answer to any issue that we have pending is to just go back to at-large districts in the city of Miami. 5 commission districts elected citywide, and then we eliminate all. As it used to be before? As it used to be before? Yes, but
pocket item?
well, but I sort of want to get it. No, I agree that you throw that idea up in the air, you know, I mean, and. No, but I have to finish it. I only threw it up. I haven't finished the pass yet, so let me finish the drive. Oh, okay. So it's very, very brief. The idea is to begin the conversations because of the lawsuit and what the magistrate is recommending. And Madam Attorney, if you will pay attention to this, it's important, I think, for the future. Okay. All right, whenever you guys are finished, let me know when I can continue. Okay. You ready? Okay. So the idea would be, if the magistrate recommends that what we've done is incorrect, this commission, I know Commissioner Coble was not here when the map was drawn, and we had the back and forth, perhaps the solution may be, I'm not saying it is, I'm saying it may be, that we go back to at-large districts throughout the city. And that way no one can, because we're not changing city boundaries, right? No one can argue with us that, hey, you're gerrymandering this, or you're favoring this particular group or that particular group. We eliminate that argument altogether and we take it back to where it was. Because if I remember correctly, and of course, there won't be a vote on this today. It'll be maybe the beginning of a conversation, because it's a serious issue, but it needs to be addressed in a quick fashion because we have elections coming up in November. You have an election, I have an election, you have an election. So in essence, and you were elected under a map that's now being questioned as a map may have some problems with it, right, by a magistrate.
I totally agree, and it has become an issue already of questioning from the community. But one of the things that I do need to tell you, Commissioner, is that, for example, the area of Coconut Grove, which is one of the areas of my district that has expressed more of a concern, even though I did my district was impacted as well in downtown and a part of Brickell, is to keep the Grove united. So I just wanted to put that into the record.
Of course, but the idea with them would be to keep Miami united. So once we eliminate single-member districts, then all Miami is Miami. It's a city. And everybody can vote and pick their commissioner, group 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then there's no debate about where the lines are drawn, whether it's US 1 or whether it's Mary Avenue or whether it's 37th Avenue or if Legami's cut in half or Alapata's cut in half. All those debates will go away, right? Because in essence, it's a city. And I think our city's boundaries are protected, right? We're in pretty good shape with those, right? Right? Okay.
Hopefully.
You think so?
Hopefully.
Yeah. So in essence, to avoid all that debate and who's going to do the maps, is the court going to draw the map? But what I wanted, the idea that I wanted to bring out and maybe talk about it a little bit is for our city attorney to tell us where we're at right now, what she recommends or she thinks legally what we're positioned to do. And then this commission as a body has a right to down the line, perhaps even next commission meeting when we have a full commission, decide that maybe it's better to go back to where it was, because what happened, the reason why single-member districts were created back then was to make sure the diversity that Miami has, as we said it's already on the records, doesn't matter if I say it again, right? Is it okay? Good. That the reason it was created was to keep harmony in our city, because we have a very diverse community, a very diverse city. So we want an African-American representation. We want a non-Hispanic white representation. We want that. I think it adds to the fiber of our city and it adds to the representation that we provide up here. But if that's being questioned by organizations that back then were fighting for that recognition and for that representation are now saying, hey, no, they were doing it for this reason or that reason, like the NAACP and others, well, let's do citywide and let's see what the results are. And then can they argue against that? What will be the results if we do a citywide election?
I do understand, sir.
But let me ask the city attorney.
I don't understand.
To give us her opinion, and then, you're laughing and I'm laughing because
you're just throwing the ball back to them.
What we've been trying to do,
yes,
is to be fair and to provide representation for all communities in our city. Now, all of a sudden, we have a magistrate who probably knows nothing about our city and its uniqueness, coming back and saying, wait a minute, they did it for this reason, they did it for that reason. We did it for many reasons that are probably much more complex than that magistrate understands. Very complex city, very complex history, a long history of race and ethnicity and migrations and immigrations. So what we have up here, we have that diversity.
Yes, we do.
And we have very, very different generational and ethnic and racial opinions that come into play. And I think we've done a pretty good job. And others before us have done a pretty good job representing the community in a fair way.
Madam Chair, can I do understand what you're saying, and I agree that the idea must be floated. So these people that they're asking, the argument that they have, I'm going to say it, the ACLU, they're claiming that it was not fair, you see. You be careful what you wish for, because the way that we have been dealing for a long time, for every time that there have been since day one when the boundaries were drawn, it was to assure diversity in the city of Miami. And the only way that we can assure diversity of the city of Miami is by, I'm going to call spade, but gerrymandering. We have to bunch together ethnic borders in order to be able to have an Afro-American, make sure that they are represented, and a non-Hispanic white in representing the city of Miami. So if they are accusing us of gerrymandering, if we go now on and instead of having districts, and we don't draw the districts to assure ourselves that we have that representation, you have a point there and see what do they think? Because they are going to be the culprit of eliminating diversity in the city of Miami government.
And at the end of the day, it's on them, right?
That's on them.
It's on them, not on us. And I know you're in a hurry, but I think it's important. If you give me.
No, I'm not.
Well, you are because
No,
you have
no,
a federal trial. I know.
What I'd like to say is that I believe our city attorney and our outside counsel have a path forward. This discussion is premature.
Okay.
There are things that are happening in the court.
I don't believe that. I have to I'm sorry. I have to disagree with you. Our city attorney is not a policymaker. Neither is our city manager. We're the ones that are elected. We have a responsibility to make decisions. So they may have a path forward, but I think the public, we can have private conversations, which we will. But the public has a right to know what we're thinking and where we're going, because they're the ones that elect us and we speak for them. So it's not a question of whether the attorney has a plan for a lawsuit or an appeal. That's beautiful. I want to hear what your plan is, so the public knows what that plan is. But I do want to have a conversation, not today, it started today, plant the seed today, about the options that are out there, because it's not a question of you having a path to continue to appeal a map, who's going to draw the map, the courts, or this commission. I will not relegate to a court that does not understand us or know us what our map should look like. We need to draw it. And if we're not going to draw it, then we do the whole city. But not to go through the process. And by the way, we happen to elect a Hispanic American to District 2, right? Which means that either Miami is maturing really fast, which is good. It's a good thing. Or we let all of Miami decide, which will probably, I think, let's be honest here, we'll probably elect 5 Hispanic commissioners. And if people think that that's good for the city of Miami, so be it. Who's going to argue that?
Well, let us.
Because the people decided. Wait a minute, I'm not done.
Well, we got to open it up for public comment. We're doing all of this comment.
I understand, but
Let's
it's my pocket item, so I think
understand.
it's important that I espouse what I think, where we need to go, so the city commission and our city manager, wherever he is, understands that we're not going to simply wait for the city attorney to appeal and go the back and forth and let a court a month from now, because he has an election, this commissioner over here, and he has an election, and I have an election, and we want to know where we stand. It's not a question of let the courts decide and on their time frame, whenever they have time, how they want to decide it, and not let outside groups that are not elected dictate and set the narrative and say what the truth is when that's not the truth. What we did was the right thing to do. What we did was to protect Miami's diversity and representation of all groups in our city. And for people to say that we haven't done that and we did something wrong, then I want to clarify it. And I don't want it to be hidden in the courts and with appeals and the back and forth, the legalities and legalese and all that. I want people to know what we're doing. And we take it from there. So if I hear from my city attorney and my city manager, there he is, and my city manager, our city manager, on what the path forward is in your vision, from your perspective.
Okay, let's open it up for public comment.
Of
Now,
course.
is there anyone that would like to speak on pocket item 4?
Brenda Betancourt, 1436 South 6th Street. The idea of going back to the old ways, I don't know if that's something that the public will take so lightly. It's true, Commissioner, we as the voters elect all of you, but I think it would be fair for all of you to actually ask the voters if you actually want that. And the reason for...
That was actually what I was trying to say. Sorry, Madam Chair.
Sorry.
We'll have our chance to speak again. I just wanted to open it up for public comment.
And the reason for is, even though we elect every single one of you, doesn't mean that somebody from, I don't know, Morningside is going to decide something what happened in Little Havana where I live. I think that's not fair because every single community knows what happened in every single community. And unfortunately, the map is not right, and the reasons that they're stating maybe not be the ones that the water map was done. And we all need to understand, if I am part of a community and I live there and I pay for my taxes in that community, it's because that's where I'm going to live. and I want to have my own set of rules in my community where I live. I don't believe the Coconut Grove will dictate rules for Alapata, Little Haiti, because it's not fair. Every single community have a different set of living, and that's the reason that the district exists. But I hope that you guys actually think about it, about the community, and not just about the interest to pay for things that you guys do according with the money that flows around the city of Miami. Thank you.
Good morning. Go ahead.
So when it comes to the redistricting, that is something that's very important for the community as a whole, because I too, my name is Christy Tasker, I will also be in the same position that you guys are in. So that does need to be decided in terms of where the maps are clearly drawn. I agree with you, Mr. De La Porta, that it's not clearly identified, and if people are complaining, I agree with Commissioner Covo, they are complaining regarding the districting. So anything that you guys can do to rectify those before elections and as soon as possible, I think that would be great.
Good morning again. James Torres, current candidate for District 2. I'll have to be very honest. In the campaign trail that Ms. Covo and I ran, a lot of people were very upset with the redistricting, number one, especially in the West Grove area. I heard that a lot. Also, that came into fruition is before you start moving forward, and I appreciate the fact that you want to start having early dialogue, I think it's important that we bring this out to the community and see what they want, because they're the ones that are representing all of us. Number one. Number two is other options may be viable, creating 7 districts. That would be a viable solution, but you have to slice and dice the way the maps look today. But to go back into the Stone Age of making it a true city district or an open, I don't think that's the right way, Commissioner Alex De Portilla. I think it's early. I think we should have that discussion because it's not fair to the constituents, especially in the West Grove or even up in Morningside. You know, I kind of have to agree with the young lady that was just speaking now. You know, how can someone dictate something or wanting something from Alapata, Overtown, and so forth and so onward? So that's my 2 cents, but, you know, I think it's important that further dialogue is had with all due respect.
So in your reasoning, quickly, with your reasoning, we should have probably 40 or 45 cities, right?
What was that last time?
We should have 40 or 45 cities or entities, right? Because Morningside is different in Coconut Grove than Edgewater in Commissioner Covo's district alone. There's like probably 12 different communities.
What I'm saying here today, sir, and I'm agreeing to disagree with you.
Okay.
Is what I'm
But give a
saying
reason.
is
You said that every community is different.
Diversity is key.
Right.
So if we're going to look at all these components in your early conversation,
But the
we should start having
but
it.
the logical end to your debate and to your logic is that every community, every neighborhood, that's why we have homeowner associations, right? Everyone should have their own entity and their own government. How unpractical is that? How impractical is that?
I'm not saying that.
Well,
what I'm clearly saying is that as you started this conversation, that you're saying we need diversity, number one.
Absolutely.
Number two, this should be had out to the public. This should be talked about with everybody, not just mandating here today.
But isn't that what we're doing right now?
You're setting...
Because we live in a representative democracy. But what happens in representative democracies? The public elects representatives, and they vote. The public doesn't get a vote on everything that we do, on every single issue, on every PZ item, and any RE item. There's a representative democracy. That's what we do, right? So let's have a really representative democracy that's citywide, and the people that are represented to speak for you and for everybody else here have that voice. If you're the one that does it, and you get elected, and people like you and want you, or Commissioner Covo, they pick. But why single out particular pockets and say this pocket should have this representation, that pocket should have that?
Don't disagree with you on that.
Thank you, Mr. Torres.
If he's addressing me, I think it's important to have.
No, that was a comment. It wasn't a question.
Okay.
Thank you.
Because, I mean, I'm sure I can
Thank
pull
you.
votes out of Alapata and get elected if it's open to everybody.
Thank you.
Well, good luck
Thank
with
you.
that one.
Do I have a motion for pocket item 4?
No, there's no motion. My original request was to hear quickly, very quickly, briefly from our city attorney on what the path forward was so we can know and the public can know where we're going. Let's say just briefly to see what her thinking is, what's in her head, because she'll tell me and she'll tell all of us, but I want them to know what you're thinking.
Madam Chair,
understand this is a directive to analyze them and see what the feasibility of this. And I believe that we should look into it. Not that I am going to be in favor because I believe in diversity, but I want everybody to know what will be the consequences. And what are the consequences if we go and we eliminate the districts, and what will be the consequences if it is not drawn properly? What are the consequences? We could eliminate diversity in as Commissioner de la Portilla said, most probably, if we eliminate the districts, we're going to have 5 Hispanics sitting here, just because of the composition of the population. It is just that simple. You see? So analyze it and come back to us.
But at least give me, so again, the public knows what your thinking is. Do it in 3 minutes if you can.
Thank you. So basically, we are in the middle of litigation, so normally we don't discuss these big points of litigation, but what is happening right now is that the status quo remains. The maps remain as is. The special magistrate issued a report and recommendation, and that is all it is, a report and recommendation. We, the city, have the opportunity by May 13 to file objections to that report and recommendation. And then the judge, the federal judge, will decide whether he will agree with his special magistrate or he will agree with the city. The plaintiffs also have the right by May 19 to respond to our objections to that report and recommendation.
And therein lies the problem. The city attorney, on our behalf, on the leaders of this community's behalf, has until May 13th, that's in 3 days, to respond. And no one on this board and this commission has not recommended to her what to respond and what we're thinking. That's the problem. So the policy is being driven by the city attorney's response that's due in 3 days without us having a conversation before the 3 days. And that's why it's a pocket item today. Because it makes no sense to have the conversation after she responds, and then May 19th, the other side responds, and then the ball's rolling, and we haven't given an opinion.
If I may?
So if we have a directive to our city attorney to meet with all of us before May 13th, and tell us what you're thinking, and maybe we could do it individually.
If I may,
Okay.
I have directed the city attorney and the manager to brief each of the commissioners, and I've already had my briefing on this. Commissioner Kovo?
I was already briefed.
Correct, but not to her response and what her angle is going to be on that response. So what I want
That was
is...
my briefing.
That wasn't mine. Mine is coming today.
I see.
No. A briefing on the lawsuit is different than what the City of Miami Commission votes on. It's 2 different things. It's not her telling us she's going to do in a courtroom in 3 days. It's us giving our opinion as collectively as a body of what we think should happen in this government. It's the other way around. You're putting the cart before the horse. Oh, we're going to do this. I'm going to brief everybody as to what my response is going to be. That's the other way around. And that concerns me. Because the policymakers, we're the policymakers here. And it doesn't matter what she's going to brief you. She's going to brief me in a little while now. Right after this meeting, she's going to brief. But that's her interpretation of where we should be going. The policy decision is, do we stay with single-member districts, or do we go to at-large districts again? That's a policy decision that only the 5 of us make. The city manager doesn't make it. The city attorney doesn't make it. If he continues to fight how the maps are going to look, appeal, come back, recommend what we think, that's beautiful. That's all part of the legal process. I do not necessarily want to be subjected to that through the entire process.
Entiendo.
¿Entiendes? Good.
Entiendes.
And so I direct her. Good.
Can I
But
include?
I think part of the process is to be briefed, because we spoke about policy in my briefing, and we talked about that. There are some...
Of course.
But once you have your briefing, I understand your pocket item, it's a directive. I believe that's great, but once you have your briefing, it wasn't just
Madam Chair,
legal.
with all due respect, I've been doing this 25 years.
Entiendes.
I've done 3 redistricts in my lifetime at the state level. I have a lot of experience in this world. I don't need a 20-minute briefing to understand the issue. Okay?
Mine was an hour and a half.
Well, it could be 3 hours. I don't need a 3-hour briefing, much less. I understand the issue. What I want to make public, I want the public to know what we're doing, not what the legalities are, because I understand all the legalities. I went through 2 redistricting processes in 2000, 2010, and I went through all that. At the state level, it was contested, but we're not driving the debate, and that's the problem. The policymakers in Tallahassee drove the debate. We lost some, we won some. We're not just sitting down and getting a briefing on what's going to happen tomorrow and 2 days. We have to have our input. That's why we're elected. They're not. And that's my only issue. That's why I brought it up, to make the point. And make it again, and I'll make it again. And I'll make it next commissioner meeting again after they do the response, after the May 19th deadline passes, and after we get more and more newspaper articles come out on how unfair we were and how we drew maps this way, because they don't care about newspaper articles, right? Because they're not factual, they're not truthful. The fact of the matter is that we're trying to represent our city the right way with diversity. And for others to claim to create a false narrative that we're not is wrong. And it's important for the public to understand that. That's it. Very simple.
Gotcha.
Make a suggestion here. From what I heard, what the only news that we have is that we know the decision that was made, and according to people that are experts, said that the judge goes 95% with the decision of the person. But I wanted to do, and I think that I'm throwing this that we should consider. You see, we don't know how the judge is going to go, but in case, we should be prepared in different alternatives that we have, including a new map.
Of course.
Drawn by us.
Correct.
And accepted by us. Therefore, I am suggesting that we ask our expert, Mr. DeGrande, to redraw a map and, meet with us and start redrawing a map that will guarantee that 10 years from now, we're going to have the diversity in the city government, and we are going to elect an Afro-American to a seat, and they're going to be properly represented as well as other groups. And it is not binding, the maps, it's not binding, but I think that we should be prepared. Be prepared, because I don't want a judge to draw the map. I agree with you. If we're going to draw a map, we draw the map. And that is my suggestion. I don't know if you guys agree with it or not.
Yes, I do. And also to explore, obviously, my original point of the pocket item is to explore the at-large districts, to look at possible alternatives. That's the directive. This will be the motion, right? Including yours as an amendment to what we're doing. We'll do it together.
Yes.
Look at all the possible options. It gives this policy-making body the options.
That is fair.
That's it.
I agree, but we would need to add a timeline, because what would happen if that takes forever?
Yes.
What happens legally in November? That's something that it could, because we need to socialize it with the community as well.
Of course, of course. And we need to know who to, if we have districts, we need to know where to go, right? Everybody needs to know where to go. If you go to the wrong neighborhood, it's no longer your district the next day, right? So we got to figure out where to go. All of us here and everybody out there that wants to run, right? And it's a fair thing to do. And it is, by the way, May, and, qualifying in September, so we don't have that much time. That's it.
I agree. So
I'll leave you alone.
I think I asked 7 minutes ago for a motion.
I'll make it.
I have a motion. Second?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Correct.
Okay.
All the alternatives.
Yes.
Okay.
At this time, I would like to recognize one of our colleagues. It is his cumpleaños.
Oh.
29, right?
29.
Happy birthday,
So
Commissioner.
we'd like to say happy birthday.
So here we go, guys. Here we go. Ready? I have a horrible voice, so ready, you start. You have a prettier voice.
Thank you, thank you.
1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Commissioner. Happy birthday to you.
And many more.
Let me just say something. You know, today I learned that May is a historic preservation month. You say, I'm historic, so I gotta be preserved. Because of my age and my knowledge, I'm historic.
Well, no, hold on a second. No, Commissioner. We need to send that to the HEP board. Yes, sir. To the HEP board, see they approve it. But I've known you for, I'm not gonna say how many decades, but it's been decades. And we've had a lot of political battles together. We've had differences. That's all people in politics do. But you're my lifelong friend, and I love you, and I'm very, very happy you're here with me. You're my colleague, and I wish you a very, very happy birthday to you and your entire family, Commissioner. Happy birthday, sir.
Thank you, thank you. And I know, and regardless of whatever disagreement we have here, me and you and your brothers and your father and your mother, we're gonna be family. We're gonna be friends, always.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Commissioner. Okay, back to the business of the city.
Christ, there's no emotion in you.
Oh, do you want to cut the cake first?
Say something now.
Take a picture.
Take a picture.
We did take pictures.
We'll get it on the next agenda.
I believe we're now on the boards and committees. Mr. City Clerk?
Thank you, Chair. BC3, Arts and Entertainment Council. Commissioner Kovo will be appointing Seth Gordon.
Need a motion? Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
BC6, confirmation of the Civil Service Board election results. This item is a resolution confirming the certification of the election results of Ulysses Garcia, elected to seat 1, and Wilbert Max Jackson Jr., elected to seat number 2 on the Civil Service Board.
Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
BC10, Code Enforcement Board. Commissioner King would like to appoint Keon Williams to the District 5 seat.
Do you have a motion?
I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And there's also one vacant at-large seat on the Code Enforcement Board. Commissioner Diaz-Portilla would like to appoint Martin Zilber, and Commissioner Reyes would like to appoint Brenda Betancourt.
Do you have a motion?
There's only one.
Well, there's only one that can be appointed, and this is
But may I state why I naming Brenda? She has been an alternate for a long, long time, and now that it comes, it is a permanent, and she has been always. She's always present. I want to Commissioner Diaz-La Portilla I want to propose that we nominate Silver as an alternate, because he'll be here all the time, because there is never, as long, until we have a permanent. But I think she deserves to be named a permanent member, because she comes to every single meeting as an alternate. And that way, we have Judge Silva as an alternate, and he was going to participate, because Brenda can attest that there is never quorum until the next permanent comes in. You have my commitment that I will back him up.
Unfortunately, this is one of those issues that we talked about
Absolutely.
about 2 minutes ago that we're
That's
not
right.
that we're not in agreement with. Just because somebody's been an alternate, I don't believe that Ms. Betancourt has done a good job on that board.
Well, it's your opinion.
You gave your opinion. I'm going to give mine. I don't believe. I think she's politicized the position. So I don't agree with her positions that she's taken over the course of her tenure there. I recommended Mr. Marty Zilber because I think he brings a lot of good things to that board. I think that board needs more professionalism in it. There's a lot of debate back and forth constantly, and this little resolution that comes from, I watch those meetings. So to me, I think somebody who's a lawyer, somebody who brings a little bit, a history of mediation, arbitrations that he's done and things along the way, that he understands how these boards should work and how we can move our city forward. So that's why I nominated him. I also think for the harmony of not only District 2, but the city in general, that Mr. Zilber, Judge Zilber, could do a good job in this position. I think he could do a better job as a permanent member than the alternative at this juncture. And I want his name, and that's why I nominated him. So I think it'll be a vote. We have to take a vote. We'll take a vote on it. I prefer to have a full day as to do it, to be honest with you. But because I know Commissioner Carollo, I thought he may be here today. I know where he is. But
let the board decide.
But we could let the board decide if you want to defer. But I think we can take a vote on it. I prefer.
We can vote right now.
Well, what do you want to do, Madam Chairwoman?
I think we should wait until we have a full board.
Okay. We'll live to fight another day. We'll do it another day.
Okay, so we'll
But
motion to.
but obviously I expect you to vote my way, right? And we'll take it from there. Well, I mean,
that's going to be my birthday.
it would be. Well, because it's your birthday, we want to make sure the vote goes the right way. So I'm okay.
Okay, no
There's no voting
motions.
for you.
All right,
Yeah,
Todd, do you have any other boards appointments?
There's no motion needed.
Okay.
Yes, BC 11, Commission on the Status of Women and Quality of Life Committee. Commissioner Kovo will be appointing Sandy Moyes.
Do you have a motion? Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries.
Aye.
Do you have anything else?
BC 12, Community Relations Board. Commissioner Kovo will be appointing Stephen Dulugoff.
Do you have a motion?
Move it.
Is Commissioner Cole here?
Second? I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
BC 21, Planning, Zoning, and Appeals Board. Commissioner Kovo will be reappointing Anthony Parrish and appointing Juan Carlos Zapata.
Move it.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
That
Motion
concludes.
carries.
That concludes the boards and committees. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Okay. They're all being
All of your
appointed.
appointments were made.
Thank you. I was at the bathroom.
Okay. I believe we are.
You were in conference.
You took a great bathroom break. I like it.
We are on our PC
Very timely.
items.
PZ 13, I believe. I want to defer that to my district. Has it been deferred already?
Yes, right now.
No?
Okay. PZ, do you have the ones that were deferred and stuff?
I do.
Okay. So
I'm not sure about 13.
do I have a motion for PZ 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9?
I'll move it.
Second? Okay.
To disclosure.
Madam City Attorney? Commissioner Reyes has a Jennings disclosure on all of them, he said. And I have a Jennings
cover my
disclosure
back.
as well.
Yes. And I believe Commissioner Kovo does too, but you want to do all of them before the PZs? Or as
All
they
of
come
what?
up?
The Jennings disclosures?
Right. Do you want to do them before the PZs or as each
No,
comes
I
up?
have one on all of them, so.
Oh, okay.
Madam Chair, for the record, PZ 8 and PZ 9, Planning Department had a different recommendation from what the applicant requested. So we just need to clarify what the vote would be on that one, ma'am.
Elvis, the public comment period is over.
Well, the motion is to move them all, it doesn't,
I have a point of order.
you can recommend what you want, but if the motion is to move them all, it's to move them all.
So
Right.
the applicant is requesting a certain zoning and a land use, so we just want to make sure for the record that it's.
Which one is it?
8 and 9, sir, so that we're approving what the applicant is requesting for the record.
8 and 9.
This is the planning department recommended denial.
Yes, sir.
This is the, hold on, the co-living?
No, sir, this is a future land use map and a rezoning, sir.
Co-living is 10.
I know, I'm just following it, sorry. I didn't take my smart pill today.
You always do.
That's Commissioner, no, I don't say that, Cororio says that. I copy him every once in a while. PZ8, okay, I'm okay with that one. The one that I have a concern about is Morningside, because I wanted to see what the commissioner from the district, we had discussed at the last commission meeting, Commissioner Koval, what your thoughts were on that, and you were going to, I know I saw on TV, because I always watch all public comments, no matter what Valero Cortadito says, I watch it from my office, I'm making, or what Mr. Fleischer's over there says every once in a while, too. The truth is hard to swallow sometimes. So I watch all public comment, I watch your public comments. And I wanted to make sure we had spoken to the commissioner in public, last commission meeting, about what your desire was. I know you came in today with some additional petitions that were signed, 500 and something, that were in favor of what you're proposing. I don't know, Commissioner Cole, what you feel, but I would like to know what your thoughts are, your feelings are on the Morningside pool issue, or on the Morningside Park issue.
Are you speaking specifically about the pool?
I was speaking about the allocation of dollars that they want to do today.
So what we passed today?
There's a deadline. I know it's
Passed already.
Oh, that already
That
passed.
passed already.
Yeah, it's not on the
Okay,
PZ, it's on the RE agenda.
I'm sorry. So I'm mistaken.
What we are not speaking about as yet that we're going to be doing in the very near future would be the more comprehensive
Okay.
plan of the park, including to Mr. Cruz, the pool, and also the flooding, which has not been addressed
Right, I saw
by
that
the
part.
city, according to
So
him,
what
for
are
a
we
long
voting
time.
on now?
Just the allocation for the shoreline.
Right?
No, so that already passed.
I know, that's
The
why-
RE
that's why I'm
item.
confused. And that
already
There's nothing
passed,
on Morningside in this PZ agenda.
Okay, so I take it, everything I said,
Yeah.
I didn't say.
What our planning director was
Exactly, because we did
referencing,
vote on the shoreline
what the
already.
planning director is referencing that is on PZ 8 and 9, planning made a recommendation. The developer has their request for the zoning designation, and so she just wants clarity that whatever's approved, whether it falls in line with what was recommended by planning
understand.
or what the developer or the landowner requested specifically. We just want to make sure it's clear and on the record, that's all.
Okay, so I would just like to take up, I'm asking for a motion for PZ 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Can I? Hold on a second. I am not voting for the 10, you know.
Yeah, I understand you're a no vote for 10.
That's right.
So, but-
No, I'm not voting in favor, I'm voting against.
I said, I understand you're a no vote.
Okay, I'm a no vote, and I have my reasons, because what we're doing, getting 6 people per apartment. If you have really the density there is going to be tremendous, and also, and there is a substantial reduction in parking, which I think it is detrimental to the neighborhood that surrounds that development. What we have here is a rooming house. I mean, not a rooming house, it's a dorm.
It's not a rooming house.
It is a dorm. It is the same concept of a dorm. There are 6 persons to an apartment, and those persons, they share the same common area, and there is, let's say that there is only 50% of parking, and we are assuming and hoping that they're gonna use Metro Mover. But to do that, you have to be next to Metro Mover, and they all work at the same place, a place that it could be.
All right.
You could drive, and you could go to it. So personally, I think that it is detrimental to the neighborhoods that surround it, and I don't want that concept to spill over to other areas and other neighborhoods. I will agree with it if it's only next to Jackson Memorial Hospital, the university, the college, because that's what basically what it is. It's a dorm. It's a dorm. But when you spread them out through the city, you are placing a burden in all the neighborhoods that surround it. And I will not agree with it.
Okay.
I am going to vote against it.
Okay, let's take PZ 10. Victoria, you have to read that into the title into the record.
Right, so I'm sorry, Madam Chair, I need a little bit of clarity. First of all, are you taking like all the items together? Okay.
No, I'm not, because I see Attorney Whitaker here, and I know he's going to do something, so can you just read PZ 10 into the record?
Okay, so just PZ 10 right now.
Yes.
An ordinance of the Miami City Commission amending ordinance number 13114, the zoning ordinance of the City of Miami, Florida, as amended by amending Article 1, Section 1.1, titled Definitions of Building Function Uses, Section 1.2, titled Definitions of Terms, Article 3, Section 3.4, titled General to Zones, Density and Intensity Calculations, Article 4, Table 3, titled Standards and Tables, Building Function Uses, Table 4, titled Density, Intensity, and Parking, Article 6, Table 13, titled Supplemental Regulations, and Article 7, Section 7.2, titled Procedures and Nonconformities, Structures, Uses, Lots, Site Improvements, and Signs to allow and establish definitions and regulations for co-living residential uses, containing a severability clause and providing for an effective date.
Do I have a motion?
I move it.
Second?
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No,
Motion carries.
don't look at me with that mean face. I'm not afraid of you. You're not going to scare me.
She always has that mean
I'm
face.
too old to be scared by anybody.
am not
You
looking-
won,
I'm not
fantastic,
giving-
congratulations.
I'm not-
I hope it doesn't, I hope that later on you don't regret it.
I don't
Years
think-
from now.
I don't think I
mean,
will.
that is.
Commissioner Reyes, I don't think I will. The reality of our
That's right.
housing crisis now is that there are some families that cannot afford to live in the city of Miami, and they're going to have to
But
share.
you see, we are not, because we need housing and because we need development, we cannot do it by destroying the existing neighborhoods. We have to protect the neighborhoods. And that is my commitment, and will do it. I've been my philosophy since day one here, 6 years ago, and it's going to be my philosophy if I'm voted out now that I have an election or when my time is due. And I think that this is an idea that we are importing from someplace else, because that's what happened. I have noticed on the time that I've been here, anybody comes here with the idea that something that worked in Chicago or worked in New York, they want to implement it in Miami when the conditions are totally different. Totally different. And if we had a decent, not only because we have a non-existent mass transit system, if we had a decent mass transit system, I would have considered it. But we have a non-existent transit system, and this is going to create problem in the adjacent neighborhoods. And that is my point, and I vote with my conscience all the time.
You certainly do.
Okay.
Now, I'd like to defer PZ 11 and 12.
I will second that.
I'm doing it as a courtesy. I was asked by my colleague who cannot be here today, so I'm going to defer.
I figured.
Yes,
I'll second it for that reason, too. Professional courtesy to
it's
Commissioner.
a professional courtesy.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, who's the mover?
Commissioner
Commissioner
King.
Diel-
I'll move it. She can't move it. She's a chairwoman.
Right, and
So
I
it'll
seconded.
be moved by me, and as a professional courtesy to the commissioner from the 3rd District who's not here, and it's an issue that impacts our entire city. So we'll take it up when he's here next commission meeting.
I have a motion, I did the second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next meeting.
Madam Chair, when you get to PZ 16, I mean, if we're gonna batch them all together, I have a comment.
Okay.
You let me know when, please.
Do we want to, Victoria, can you read into the record PZ 13?
I want to defer to my district, if you don't
Okay.
mind, with PZ 13.
PZ 13
Till
will
the
be
next, till the
deferred.
next commission meeting.
I second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
PZ 15 is the one that you have to say the Jennings. Commissioner Koval wants to say before we start going really fast again, PZ 15, I believe she has a Jennings disclosure
Okay.
I do.
that she spoke to the applicants.
I spoke to the applicants.
Do we
And I
wanna-
spoke to the Union of Employees as well.
Do we want to take
I want to move PZ 15.
second? All in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
Chair, PZ, oh, it's a resolution, my
Read it,
apologies.
read it into
It
the
doesn't
record.
have to be read
No,
into
no,
the
no, it's just a
record.
resolution.
Yes,
My
yeah,
mistake.
It's your boo-boo.
So we have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
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 This is the Hyatt item. The Hyatt, and you also gave a Jennings disclosure at the beginning.
Right,
So this
okay.
is for the waterfront setbacks. Ms. Escara is representing the applicant.
It passed unanimously.
That's done.
Yes, PZ 15. No, 15.
No, 15.
Okay. 13 was deferred. So can you, Madam City Attorney, can you read the titles for PZ 16, 17, 18, and 19 into the record? After
You
she
have to
reads it,
announce
then
that
she-
PZ 15 was passed.
Yes, I did. PZ 15 passed unanimously.
Okay.
Can I just get for a point of clarification? 13's being deferred to what date?
The next,
Next
May,
commission
meeting?
May 25th. yeah.
Thank you.
Madam City Attorney?
PZ 16, 17, 18, and 19, that's what I'm reading? Madam Chair?
16, 17, 18, and 19.
Okay, and we don't have to say anything or change anything on these, okay.
No.
An ordinance of the Miami, PZ 16, an ordinance of the Miami City Commission with attachments amending ordinance number 10544, as amended the future land use map of the Miami Comprehensive Neighborhood Plan pursuant to small-scale amendment procedures subject to section 163-3187 Florida statutes by changing the future land use designation from duplex residential to medium-density restricted commercial for the property generally located at 3121, 3147, 3135, 3145, 3153, 3163, and 3173 Mundy Street, and 3645 and 3633 Day Avenue, Miami, Florida, more particularly described in Composite Exhibit A, attached and incorporated, making findings containing a severability clause and providing for an effective date. PZ 17, an ordinance of the Miami City Commission with attachments amending the zoning atlas of ordinance number 13114, the zoning ordinance of the City of Miami, Florida, as amended by changing the zoning classification from T30 Suburban Transit Zone Open to T4L General Urban Transit Zone Limited for the property located at 3121, 3147, 3135, 3145, 3153, 3163, and 3173 Mundy Street, and 3645 and 3633 Day Avenue, with a Village West Island District and Charles Avenue NCD 2 Neighborhood Conservation District overlay, Miami, Florida, collectively the property as more particularly described in Composite Exhibit A, attached and incorporated, making findings containing a severability clause and providing for an effective date. PZ 18, an ordinance of the Miami City Commission with attachments amending ordinance number 10544 as amended the future land use map of the Miami Comprehensive Neighborhood Plan pursuant to small-scale amendment procedures subject to Section 163-3187 Florida statutes by amending the future land use designation from single-family residential to medium-density restricted commercial for the property generally located at 3475, 3479, and 3481 Hibiscus Street, 3475, 3447, 3435, and 3401 William Avenue, and from single-family residential, medium-density restricted commercial to medium-density restricted commercial for the property generally located at 3452, 3440, 3430, and 3460 Thomas Avenue, and 3456 Elizabeth Street, Miami, Florida, as more particularly described in Composite Exhibit A, attached and incorporated, making findings containing a severability clause and providing for an effective date. PZ 19, an ordinance of the Miami City Commission with attachments amending the zoning atlas of ordinance number 13114, the zoning ordinance of the City of Miami, Florida, as amended by changing the zoning classification from T3R, suburban transit zone, restricted to T40, general urban transit zone, open with a Village West Island District and Charles Avenue NCD2 Neighborhood Conservation District overlay for the properties generally located at 3475, 3479, and 3481 Hibiscus Street, 3475, 3447, 3435, and 3401 William Avenue, 3452, 3440, 3430, and 3460 Thomas Avenue, and 3454 and 3456 Elizabeth Street, and a change in the zoning classification from T3R, General Urban Transit Zone Restricted, and T50, Urban Center Transit Zone Open, to T40, General Urban Transit Zone Open with a Village West Island District and Charles Avenue NCD2 Neighborhood Conservation District overlay for the property located generally at 3449 Hibiscus Street, Miami, Florida. Collectively, the property is more particularly described in Composite Exhibit A, attached and incorporated, making findings containing a severability clause and providing for an effective date.
Thank you, Madam Attorney. Is there a motion for PC 16 through 19?
So, for
It's
PC
moved-
16, I have a
Moved by
comment.
Commissioner Reyes. Is there a second?
But I
Is
need
there
to
second?
include something in PC 16.
I'm sorry, PC 16. You recognize Commissioner Cole?
Can we include the lot on 3125 Monday Street? Because it's not in the assemblage.
So are you saying that you want to update PZ 16? Is that
To
what
include it?
No, because we have to be able to notice and go through the regulatory review process
Okay,
for that item.
okay.
But we can.
But we have to do it in the future, because it's the law that it's going to be in the middle.
Understood.
It'll be a
Administration can work
process.
with
It
you
has to
on
go,
that.
be noticed. It can't be today. But we can do it down the line.
So we'll do it.
We can do that, separately
We can
because
do
there's
it
a
down the
couple
line.
other, yes.
Okay, that's important. Okay, then I second.
So we have a second by Commissioner Cole. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Items 16, 17, 18, and 19 pass. Do I have a motion for PC 4 through 9?
Chair.
And hold on. PC 4 and 5, someone has intervenor status or is requesting intervenor status, so they can be part of the block vote. So there's a motion. So why are you putting 4 through 9? So that there's a motion for 6, 7, 8, and 9. So do I have a motion for PC 6, 7, 8, and 9? So moved by Commissioner Reyes, second by Commissioner Cole. All those in favor say
And
aye.
Chair, my apologies, we just need to read the titles into the record.
Let's read the titles, Madam City Attorney. Let's read the titles into the record.
Yes, and 8 and 9, we were supposed to say something also?
So for clarification, we're just going to go with what was requested by the applicant, sir?
Correct. Was requested by the applicant, now
Thank you.
recommended by planning.
Perfect,
Okay?
thank you, sir.
Let's read it.
PZ 6, an ordinance of the Miami City Commission with attachments amending ordinance number 10544 as amended the future land use map of the Miami Comprehensive Neighborhood Plan pursuant to small-scale amendment procedures subject to section 1633187 Florida statutes by changing the future land use designation from medium-density multifamily residential and light industrial to general commercial of the acreage described herein of real property at 14 Northwest 75th Street, 7409 Northwest Miami Court, 7450 North Miami Avenue, and 7401 Northwest Miami Court, Miami, Florida, as more particularly described in Exhibit A, attached and incorporated, making findings and providing for an effective date. PZ7, an ordinance of the Miami City Commission amending zoning atlas of ordinance number 13114, the zoning code of the City of Miami, Florida, is amended by changing the zoning classification from T5R Urban Center Zone Restricted and D1 Workplace District Zone to T680 Urban Core Zone Open of the properties generally located at 14 Northwest 75th Street, 7409 Northwest Miami Court, 7450 Northwest Miami Avenue, and 7401 Northwest Miami, Florida, more particularly described in Exhibit A, making findings containing a severability clause and providing for an effective date. On the title, it says as amended twice, so this item will be as amended so that we can remove that as amended twice. PZ8, an ordinance of the Miami City Commission with attachments amending ordinance number 10544 as amended the future land use map of the Miami Comprehensive Neighborhood Plan pursuant to small-scale amendment procedures subject to section 1633187 Florida statutes by changing the future land use designation from medium-density multifamily residential to general commercial of the acreage described herein of real property at 131 Northwest 75th Street, 134 Northwest 76th Street, 120 Northwest 76th Street, 139 Northwest 75th Street, 7521 Northwest First Court, 7531 Northwest First Court, 115 Northwest 75th Street, 7510 Northwest First Avenue, and 7522 Northwest First Avenue, Miami, Florida, is more particularly described in Exhibit A, attached and incorporated, making findings and providing for an effective date. And PZ9, an ordinance of the Miami City Commission with attachments amending the zoning atlas of ordinance number 13114, the zoning ordinance of the City of Miami, Florida, is amended by changing the zoning classification from T5R Urban Center Zone Restricted to T680 Urban Core Zone Open of the property generally located at 131 Northwest 75th Street, 134 Northwest 76th Street, 120 Northwest 76th Street, 139 Northwest 75th Street, 7521 Northwest First Court, 7531 Northwest First Court, 115 Northwest 75th Street, 7510 Northwest First Avenue, 7522 Northwest First Avenue, Miami, Florida, more particularly described in Exhibit A, attached and incorporated, making findings containing a severability clause and providing for an effective date.
All right, so PZ 6, 7 as amended twice, 8 and 9 was also amended, I believe. Is that correct?
No, just PZ7.
7 as amended twice, so we moved PZ 6, 7, 8, 9 as amendments. They've been read into the record. All those in favor say aye. Aye, it passes.
And then, Chair, I'm sorry, just for the record, it's only PC7 that's being amended.
PZ 7 as amended twice, correct. Oh, that's the only one. I pass the gavel back to our real chairwoman here.
We just passed 6 and 7,
8 and 9.
8 and 9.
Yes,
6,
ma'am.
7, 8, and 9.
We're in 4 and 5. PZ 4 and PZ 5.
Can we do the Little Bahamas ones and take that out of the way?
Oh, we did those already.
We
Oh,
did
you
them
did
already.
them already?
Yeah, it
Oh,
passed.
so the only thing left is 4 and 5?
Yes, ma'am.
You think so, yeah?
And the future legislation, whatever you want to do with that.
Oh, we don't have, we just have,
Yeah.
it's just announced.
Yeah.
PZ 4 and 5.
So, Madam Chair,
Can I take
PC
a
4 and
final
5,
vote?
there's different recommendations as well on that one.
Can we deny it intervenor status and just move
So
on?
on the intervenor status, it's like a mini hearing?
It's a mini, Victoria, how long do you anticipate that would take?
Well, my client was here earlier, Alvin Smith. He's a mover, and he had to leave for a job. So I don't know if it would be possible.
So I don't think it would be possible to do it. So can we defer PZ 4 and 5?
I move to defer PZ.
Well, only to, I know, but I don't want to, I don't want to not hear the whole thing. I don't, I don't know if he'll even have intervenor status, but I don't want to deny it because they're not here.
Well, they left.
They did leave,
But he's represented by an
but he's represented by counsel.
So why did he say that he left? Who cares? If you're representing him, right?
Right, so I'm just trying to give everyone due process,
So why can't he just say what he needs to say?
because we need to hear, Victoria, don't we need to hear from the intervenor?
Right, so it
Not
depends.
just his counsel?
Right, so it depends how Mr. Winker's going to proceed, if he's going to have his client testify as to things, if he's just going to say everything. So it depends how
And so I
he's
guess,
going to
maybe
proceed.
I guess it would start with whether you guys would agree to, to intervenor status, which I'm assuming you're going to say no.
No, and we've also, just for the record, this item has been before this board several times already. There's been ample opportunity to establish intervenor status if that's something that was, if they wanted. And so to Commissioner Diaz de la Portilla's point, I mean, they're represented by counsel. Counsel can, you certainly can entertain counsel's comments and thoughts.
Victoria?
You can proceed that way. I just don't know how Mr. Winker was planning to proceed. So I guess we can ask Mr. Winker what he
I
was
would
planning
love
to
for
do.
him to be here because I think it's fair. I mean, he isn't a budding neighbor, like he is.
But we do have,
Well, and there's
a
another
neighbor that
abutting neighbor here.
is the abutting neighbor.
Yeah, that's
The abutting neighbor.
exactly, that's him.
So do we?
There's
No,
two,
but another-
actually.
there's-
Well, hold
right.
on.
Yep.
Calm down, cowboy. It's better, let's see, we go ahead and are we gonna grant them intervenor status? Do we have to vote on that? No, we have to vote on
They
that?
have to present,
And then we
to-
decide.
Right.
And then you
we
decide.
decide if they qualify as
All right.
the intervenor.
Okay,
Right,
so
so
he
the
has to present-
intervenor hearings usually take longer than the actual hearing
Yeah.
Right.
on the item. So are you sure you don't want to just?
No, we wanna go, I prefer to get it out of the, off our plate.
What does your client say?
We'll go ahead and we'll grant him intervenor status.
You will grant it?
Yeah.
Yes, even better,
Then-
so.
Hold on a second. Then we don't have to
And-
vote. He's accepting it.
Right, if we accept, so now
He's
we just
accepting.
vote on the items?
So
Yeah.
let's vote on the item.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, so normally, when you grant intervenor status, then
They make
Mr.
a presentation,
Winker.
yes.
Right, they make the presentation and Mr. Winker is able to ask some questions, as an intervenor if he so chooses, or make his statement a
but-
little longer than, the 2 minutes.
Madam City Attorney, they accept the interview.
No, yes, so
You're
we're
gonna keep
past,
it.
we're past the
We passed
inter-
everything that you said.
Right, we passed the long protracted intervenor hearing. Now, as an intervenor, he's able to ask a few questions, make a presentation as they make a presentation.
That's true, but we can limit the length of it, can we not?
You could limit everybody's
Yeah, and I-
Okay,
and
let's do that, let's do that.
And I'll-
How much time do you
so
need,
it won't
Mr.
be
Wong?
lengthy.
Okay,
Okay, fair. Let's just do it.
go ahead.
So do you want me to start?
I'd like you to
Or you do
start.
the presentation from the other side? I'm happy to start.
You
Go
start.
ahead.
Yeah.
You got it. Good afternoon, Commissioners. I appreciate the opportunity to address you. Happy birthday, Commissioner Reyes. This is along the lines of something you said earlier about preserving neighborhoods. I represent Alvin Smith, whose family and him have lived at 52 Northwest 39th Street, directly next door to the subject properties for decades. The issue before the commission is a first reading of the proposed upzonings of 3 lots on Northwest 39th Street and the Buena Vista neighborhood, from single family to duplex, even though they don't satisfy any of the three requirements needed to even apply for such an upzoning. This upzoning is the exact type of spot zoning that residents were promised would not happen under Miami 21. We were told there would be no more upzonings intruding into single-family neighborhoods because we would be protected by the specific language in Miami 21 at section 7.1.2.8C2G that requires an applicant for a zoning change to show why the existing zoning is inappropriate. That didn't happen here because there's nothing inappropriate about this single-family zoning. In fact, Assistant Planning Director David Snow was asked by the chair at the January 18th PZAB meeting if this existing single-family zoning is appropriate. Mr. Snow said it is appropriate. Therefore, according to Miami 21, 7.1.2.8 C2G, this zoning change cannot be allowed. Period, full stop. City staff is correct to recommend denial of the T4 upzoning, but their recommendation to instead make it T3O is wrong on several levels and inconsistent with the code. First, T30 would be illegal because it violates Miami 21, section 7.1.2.8C1. It is not an extension of an existing transect, is not greater than 40,000 square feet, and does not have 200 feet of street frontage. It meets none of the requirements to even be considered for a zoning change. Therefore, you cannot consider it. Despite knowing that, the developer is trying a backdoor maneuver in which the developer applies for T4, which they know they are not allowed to do, but then the city wants you to instead give them T3O, which I've shown you they should not be allowed to get under the code. And let me back up. They shouldn't even be allowed to, they're asking for something that they can't even apply for. The end run they've done is to have the city suggest that when they couldn't even apply for it in the first place. Again, making this property T3O is a classic example of improper spot zoning. And this will create a domino effect in this single-family neighborhood. Mr. Andy Parrish on the PZAB mentioned it at the last meeting. If you give this to this developer, the next developer is going to say, you have to give it to me. How many times have we seen that here at the commission, where the commission says we can't, the legal liability for denying the next guy won't allow us to do this. Commissioners, this would never be allowed in other single-family neighborhoods like the South Grove, the Rhodes, Coral Gate, Morningside that we've heard a lot about today. This single-family neighborhood is not affluent as those other neighborhoods, but it deserves respect and protection. Please do so. This is an awful proposal that will negatively impact this neighborhood. In sum, there is no hardship. There's no valid reason to approve this upzoning. It's a simple case of developer greed. There are plenty of T4 and T3O land throughout the city, but they've got it backwards. Instead of designing their project to fit the zoning, they want you, the commissioners, to change the zoning to fit the project. This is a departure from the essential requirements of law, and if you pass it, it will be grounds for a successful petition for writ of certiorari. Please don't make these neighbors go to court to get the city to enforce Miami 21. With that, I conclude my presentation. Is Mr. Snow here from the planning department. I was wondering if I could ask him a couple questions.
Before Mr. Snow,
And before we continue, I'm sorry, Commissioner Kovo just remembered that there was a meeting between Mr. Avignon and her, so she would like to make her Jennings disclosure that there was a meeting. Now that we're in the presentation, are you fine with that, Mr. Winker, and we could proceed? Mr. Winker?
I'm fine.
Okay, thank you so much.
For sure.
before that, I do think it's important that staff be presented the opportunity to provide their full report and analysis, because that is what serves as the substantial competent evidence on which both the Planning and Zoning Appeals Board relied as well.
You're a little ahead of me because I was
Okay.
going to ask our Madam Director. He made some very serious accusations and said that we are going against Miami 21, that we are taking illegal steps. Could you address that, please?
Good afternoon, Lakeisha Hull, Planning Director. For the record, Assistant Director David Snow is here to also provide a response in regards to what was stated. There is a staff analysis signed by the Planning Director that fully analyzed and evaluated the petitioner and the applicant's request in compliance with the Miami Comprehensive Neighborhood Plan and also in compliance with the Miami 21 Code. So upon that detailed analysis, we were finding that what they asked for was not in compliance with the abutting and consistencies in the land use around the property. That's why staff recommended a lower intensity of duplex residential. The applicant was able to comply, that was a more appropriate density for the property. And then the comparable zoning, which planning department staff reviewed and analyzed, and I signed off on that report itself, was also comparable to that density. So I just wanted to say for the record, the complete analysis is done. It's in the record. It's in the legislative file for both items.
Thank you. You may proceed.
Well, I was going to ask, if I could ask Mr. Snow a couple questions. I'll be brief.
Mr. Snow. Assistant Director Snow. Sorry.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Snow. At the PSAB meeting, were you asked if the existing zoning of these properties was appropriate? And well, first of all, let me ask that. Were you asked if the existing zoning of these properties was appropriate at the PSAB meeting?
I was not asked that specifically.
You were never asked whether the...
I was asked, just to be clear, I was asked about a specific section within Miami 21 and if we were in compliance with that section or not.
So you were never asked if the existing single-family zoning was appropriate?
I was not asked that specifically, and that information is in our staff report.
And so in the staff report, you addressed whether the existing single-family zoning was appropriate?
I have to, I mean, the staff report is on the record. I have to object to this line of questioning. It's on the record. It's in the minutes. It's available to Mr. Winker. He has the opportunity to review it. There's no need for, and Mr. Snow has already asked and answered that.
I agree. He's answered.
But he, okay, I mean, all right, no problem. Mr. Snow, under Miami 21, section 7.1.2.8 C2G, is it correct that the applicant is required to submit an analysis that explains why the existing zoning is inappropriate?
So applicants typically submit a letter of intent, and within that letter of intent, they describe and justify their request for the rezone.
I understand that they're asking, they give why they want an upzoning, but are they required to say under the code why the existing zoning is improper?
Again, I'm going to object to this. The city has already answered that the applicant complied with the application requirements and put forth a valid application to be before this board. And so, again, I'm going to object to that line of questioning.
And I'm asking if the application contained that language.
I did not read this particular letter of intent. Our staff has completed that review, and they found that it is compliant with that section of the code.
And it is available to you.
Well, it's not in there, that's the point. They didn't follow the code. Did city staff do an analysis on the upzoning of these properties to T3O?
Again, this question has been asked and answered. It's in the
Actually,
analysis.
the director answered that in her comments.
That's correct.
The director,
So
she answered that.
I don't think the record, I just want the record to reflect that she answered the question of whether they did an analysis of the actual upzoning occurred.
That's part of the recommendation, sir. Yes, if you read the staff analysis, it
Thank you.
states that that's what we recommended, and I signed off on that, sir.
I'd like to ask the staff, what evidence of hardship was presented as to the requiring this upzoning?
I could address that. There's not a hardship requirement on a rezoning request.
I'd like the staff to answer if whether they,
So I can chime in here. Under the legislative file for both items, there's a link that has application supporting documents. So it's a complete packet that shows all the evidence that staff use to justify our analysis. So that's how we were able to render our decision of what we have under the future land use map and also the rezoning. So I'm not sure, sir, if you've seen those supporting documents.
yeah, no, I've reviewed, my point is it's not in there. There is no analysis of hardship. I would posit to the board.
Madam Director, is a hardship required?
It's not required. So think about it this way, sir. You have to comply with the Florida statute requirement for analyzing future land use maps and rezoning requests. And so what we do, we look and see of the merits of the request, sir, and provide a recommendation such forth.
So just to clarify that for the record, you guys are not doing a separate analysis of whether the applicant has made a case, whether the current zoning is appropriate.
So I believe I've already answered that question. We analyzed the request that we received. And so that's the merits of, we get applications all the time requesting certain designations. We analyze to see if it's appropriate. We've currently already analyzed the current zoning and the future land use map that's already in place. So that's where we base our recommendation based on what was submitted to us, and then we provide a recommendation from that standpoint, sir.
Thank you, Madam Director. I believe Madam Director did say that they felt that this request was appropriate. You want to present your side now?
Thank you. So for the record, Javier Aviño with law offices at 1450 Brickell Avenue, here on behalf of the applicant and owner of these properties. First, I'd like to thank staff profusely for their work on this application. It has been many months to get to this point, including their work directly with the presidents of the two associations to hear their concerns. And I also want to thank the neighbors, those that are here, as well as those that are not here with us today, but certainly participated in the very lively discussion that we had hosted at the Ramos home, which is the immediately abutting neighbor. Ms. Ramos spoke about the impact to her home, which is the immediately abutting home on one side, as well as two homes directly in front. That meeting was attended, and I'm going to submit on the record several things, including the meeting minutes from that meeting. That meeting was attended by nearly 40 residents who spoke to us about our application. I'm also going to submit some letters of support from various neighbors as well. We got ahead of this application, early on. So before there was any hearing set, any meeting set, we wanted to reach out to the neighbors, and we wanted to make sure that we were being sensitive to what our request was. We had proffered with our application initially a covenant that would restrict our use and ensure that there would not be commercial encroachment into the neighborhood. However, the neighbors shared with us their concerns over covenants in general, their dislike for covenants that could be misused. And so that is what brought forth the ability to look at this and modify the alternate recommendation that staff has made based on their analysis. I should really clarify and hone in on one point that I think is critical here and that distinguishes this from a lot of other neighborhoods throughout the city. This is not a T3R neighborhood. A T3R neighborhood is a single-family only neighborhood. A T3L neighborhood, the significant distinction there is that T3L already allows currently for accessory dwelling units for homes, rear homes in the back. In fact, I will also submit onto the record an analysis that we did along this street and in the neighborhood that allows for...
Madam Chair, can I ask him a question because he said something that caught my attention?
Sure.
Would you like to wait till the presentation is
No,
over?
because
or you
it's just related to what is just said.
Okay.
Okay. You are, according to your exposition, I mean, what you're saying, it is today you can build 2 units in the same lot?
You could build a main home as well as an accessory dwelling unit. So yes, yes, Commissioner,
for
you
all
can build.
practical purposes, you have a duplex. Because if you have 2 units that are livable, then they are duplex.
That is correct, Commissioner. This is really a question of form, not really, function. In other words, you already can have and already exists contextually. The neighborhood already has several of these accessory dwelling units that exist. That's the nature and the context of this neighborhood. So the request is from T3L to T3O, which affords you the opportunity to do the...
Could you explain what is going to be the difference? The difference is going to be?
The difference, Commissioner, is form, right? So instead of having a main home with an accessory dwelling unit or a casita in the back, you are able to have, a frontage that has 2 homes right up on the front.
But basically, they are 2 living units.
Height remains the same. Function again remains the same. But I did want to make sure that I put on the record, the outreach that was done. We're very proud of that outreach. I love when there's consensus. Unfortunately, consensus is not always achievable, but that's my goal. We had very, very, very vocal neighbors when we met there at the Ramos home. And again, thank you to them for opening up their home to us. They were not pleased with the original request, but where we arrived is really something that I think speaks volumes of the process and of going through the process and really reaching out to the neighbors. And so I'll put all of that on the record. Again, just to address a couple of the points from Mr. Winker, this is not spot zoning. I'll put in the case law that establishes what spot zoning is. This is not. That was also addressed by the city attorney's office during the Planning and Zoning Appeals Board when it was raised at that time. And as the director stated, and as the analysis from staff establishes, there is substantial competent evidence to establish the change of zoning and the future land use change from T3L to T3O. And with that, I will rest.
Thank you. Mr. City Attorney, would you please read the titles for 4 and 5 into the record so we can vote on them?
Yes, Madam Chair. PZ4, an ordinance of the Miami City Commission with attachments amending ordinance number 10544 is amended the future land use map of the Miami Comprehensive Neighborhood Plan pursuant to small-scale amendment procedure subject to section 163.3187 Florida statutes by changing the future land use designation from single-family residential to low-density restricted commercial of the properties located at 39 Northwest 39th Street, 40 Northwest 39th Street, and 48 Northwest 39th Street, Miami, Florida, more particularly described in Exhibit A, attached and incorporated, making findings containing a severability clause and providing for an effective date. PZ5, an ordinance of the Miami City Commission with attachments amending the zoning atlas of ordinance number 13114, the zoning ordinance of the City of Miami, Florida, as amended by changing the zoning classification from T3L Suburban Transect Zone Limited to T4L General Urban Transect Zone Limited of the property generally located at 39 Northwest 39th Street, 40 Northwest 39th Street, and 48 Northwest 39th Street, Miami, Florida, more particularly described in Exhibit A, attached and incorporated, further recommending to the City Commission acceptance of the voluntarily proffered covenant, attached and incorporated as Exhibit B, making findings containing a severability clause and providing for an effective date.
I'll
Do I
move it.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. At this time, may I have a motion for the minutes so that we can approve the minutes?
Thank you all very much.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The minutes have been approved, and I believe, Commissioner Koval, you want to include photographs for RE3 for
And
the
I have
record?
copies for you.
Okay. Do you need a motion for that?
No, it's just submitting the
put it on the
photographs.
record.
I
Okay.
just wanted all of you to have it.
Okay. And that concludes the City of Miami Commission meeting for May 11th, 2023. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Madam Chair.